Everybody, time to be quiet because he has arrived. Not everybody on today's podcast episode is going to like this.
Acknowledge him.
It's Roman's world. We're just living in it, I guess.
You heard that, Woody.
Gonna let this ride for a little bit.
It's just such good entry music. It just seems important.
I will say this theme is much better than the whatever theme he had, the Shield theme.
So like Roman Empire.
Yeah, whatever was going with that.
Soak it all in, Woody. Soak it all in.
Acknowledged.
Oh, here we go. A lot of people mad about some certain results that just happened. Oh boy. All those strings, man. All right, everybody. Welcome to Crew Talk. This latest episode features, we are very excited to have these two guests with us today. We are featuring Woody and Hector from SVW. What's up, y'all?
What up?
What up?
What it is?
How you guys doing?
We're hanging out. We're cool. We're chilling. Yeah. So, what do y'all want to talk about? So, yeah, WrestleMania. It happened earlier this month, and it's the aftermath of WrestleMania. Woody, we had an interview not too long ago, and I remember from that interview, you were saying that, you were pretty much very excited that the end of Roman Reigns' reign was going to happen, and that didn't happen. So my question is, while WrestleMania was going on night 2 for this particular question, what was the reaction when, you heard the 1, 2, 3, and then the da-da-da-da-da-da?
I mean, I don't want to say I was surprised.
They were just like, oh, Hector was right.
Yeah, I mean, credit where credit's due. Heck called it. He knew
Oh, you called it, Hector?
He knew it all along.
Oh, wow, you knew it.
The only one.
Wait, really?
At the beginning, we were like, "Oh, put your ones up if you think."
Listen. We had a bet.
It was a lonely time at the beginning. Everybody thought Cody, just not his time yet.
So you were already at the whole time at the other side of the fence. You're like, nah, he's winning. He's winning. Yeah. Book it. Wow.
Yeah, simultaneously you were right and wrong. Like, you were right you called the decision. It was just the wrong decision. That's all. And here I am. I just want I want wrestling to continue on in all its glory forever and ever. And you want to kill it with your Roman love, and that's okay.
Kill it with the Roman love. Okay, so let's park there for a second. Was this... So let me paint the picture. So Reef and I and the rest of the crew, shout out to Carlton, couldn't be here today.
Shout out to Carlton.
We were there live at Mania, and I'm going to tell y'all the energy... Like, Reef's shirt right now is an American Nightmare shirt. The arena was littered with American Nightmare merchandise.
I believe it.
And Bloodline merchandise. But outside of Bloodline, it was Cody all day. You could feel it. And especially the ending moments of the match, the crowd was like, it was like, I mean, I'll be explicit. It was just like, it was about the climax. Like, it was like, no, I'm just being real.
Like, it was louder than like last year.
Yeah, and last year's was the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah,
like even with Austin there, we even analyzed it together. We're like, wait, what? Cody just had as big if not a bigger pop than Austin in Texas last year.
How was all like the like kickouts? Like the 1, 2, kick out, and it's like, oh no, not yet.
It was when
pretty intense,
with the crescendo of when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens they counteracted the Usos, and then they hit Roman, and then Cody with the 2 crossroads. It was the energy was there, the moment was there, and then they couldn't do it. 1, 2, dun 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 dun. So, and Reef and I looked at each other like our faces were like we were like, what? Like this just. So my question is, now it's up to debate if Triple H or Vince made this decision. I don't know if y'all know. I know y'all have your opinions and have perhaps inside sources or views, whatever. I think it's up to debate of whether or not it was Vince or Triple H. I think some evidence could be. Some people said it was a thing all along. I don't know, but did they miss the moment with Cody Rhodes? There.
I won't say they missed the moment.
Okay.
I think that was the first possible moment of maybe like 2 or 3 other ones.
Okay.
There's still a chance for this to be amazing. I think they did miss a beat there by getting Solo kicked out and having the Usos kicked out. There was something cool about that. It was actually going to be one-on-one. We were actually going to see who is the better man out of these two. And this is one of my biggest issues with Roman's reign at this point is that. Can he beat someone one-on-one? How is this guy going to go
He's
down
the ultimate heel.
But how is he going to go down as a top 10 wrestler of all time if he can't win a match by himself? And the fact that they kick Solo out and they let him come back in. What is this black hoodie? It's like this. It's like the invisible cape from Harry Potter.
I will say they did kick.
Is their security?
They did kick him out the match, and then all of a sudden he just merrily comes back in. Like I will say, in terms of like the writing with that, but hey,
I think
Bloodline, man,
I think it was a Triple H thing.
Really?
And
I mean, Cody did, back in
the
a little
history
bit ago,
there, I mean, like.
It's from Smashing the Throne.
Yeah, look, it was like,
you're not gonna
leave here, start another company, compete with us. And at the time, it was Wednesdays. NXT was on Wednesdays when it was like the black and gold, when Triple H was like running it. So it's like, not only are you competing with WWE, like you're competing with Triple H specifically because we're on an NXT.
That was his baby.
And then the Throne thing, and it was like, pump your brakes, like, you know what I mean? You're not just gonna come back here and just get this like mega push. Like, not saying that he doesn't deserve it, not saying he's not a great performer, but it was just too much too fast.
I hear you.
Okay.
I think you still gotta give credit to like how far he's like come. Like, he literally was in AEW last year, then fought Rollins, and then like this year he's in the main event. So it still kind of like sucks that he didn't win.
Do you think that the match at Rollins when he tore his pec, had he not tore his pec, would it have been as impactful?
That's a good question.
Just a regular
question.
Cody.
That's a great question, Hector.
It's probably a good match, but I feel like people really got behind Cody because like, damn, like he's thugging it out, like, you know what I mean? Like, torn pec, that thing looks painful, and he's like still there putting a show. If he didn't have that hindrance, would it have been as
on the flip side of that,
monumental or impactful?
That's a great question. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah,
it's up to debate. Go ahead, Woody.
on the flip side of that, had he not torn his pec, we would have got 6 more months of Cody's storyline, where we could have had those setbacks. Everyone said, "Oh, he was just handed everything. He was handed everything."
Right.
But maybe he gets those setbacks in those 6 months, and by the time he gets to WrestleMania against Roman, then it makes sense for him to go over.
Now
that's a good point.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
They had to fast forward the story because of his injury, and that's a shame that we got robbed by. Like, everyone got robbed for that.
Yeah. And the injury's out of everyone's hands.
Exactly.
But Cody, that was a classic match. I want to say something about Cody Rhodes, and I've said this to Reef. I'll say this to y'all. Back in college, watching Cody Rhodes, I thought he was a joke when he first came out. I'm just being for real. Like, Cody, I think you're amazing. But I'm just giving my opinion about at the time when I was like in college. I was like, oh, like, he's cool. Like, he's not gonna. He's a mid Carter. Like, he's not gonna.
Very vanilla.
And I just but to see him to leave. To go from that, I thought the what was the gimmick? Dashing to when he had the mask, was it broken? What was it? When he had the mask,
he had the mustache.
Like, I thought that was cool. And then the Stardust, I was like, all right, what's going on here? And then he left, and then All In happened, and then and then he was a co-founder for AEW, and then Tony Khan, billionaire, invested into that. Like, seeing his journey of reinvention has been absolutely incredible. This guy has upped his. It's like when you're upping your value. This man has upped his value to the 10th degree, and it's incredible. I think it's when I was thinking about that, like, that's one of the best. I think it's one of the best pro wrestling stories ever. And at least I'm trying to think of the past 10, 15 years. He completely revamped. He's gotten better on the mic. He's gotten better in the ring. He has a better look. His merchandise, his whole brand, like, it's been incredible. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I think even Kurt Angle mentioned it. Like I think at WrestleMania they had a chance to cement him not only as a star but a possible, like, next, maybe even a little more than that. And I think that they possibly could have, it's not quite over. And at Mania, those Finish the Story shirts were everywhere. People were buying into that. Yeah. So they have to tread.
Great marketing.
Yeah. They have to. I think they have to tread very lightly, booking wise, with Cody, especially with him facing Brock Lesnar. I get it. He has to, have his obstacles. I completely understand that. But if they do not hit this, they already missed the perfect storm moment, in my opinion. But that's okay. I liken it to The Rock in 2000, if y'all remember that. He didn't beat Triple H in that fatal four-way match in 2000. Everybody wanted The Rock to win that match. Next pay-per-view, Austin comes back and everything like that. But, like, I feel like, oh, man, that should have happened at WrestleMania. Like, it's okay, though. Rock turned out fine, as we know, right? Yeah. So maybe they're not going to capture the perfect storm moment, but if they continue to hit the right notes, they can capture 90% of that still.
I think they can still get that perfect storm moment.
Really?
Yeah, because...
Ooh,
look at how it's already got you feeling.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, like, when that moment really comes, you know what I mean? When that moment, you know what I mean? Like, he's, like, proven himself, and, like, he's, like, really, like, undeniably over, where, like, I'm a Roman, and, like, to the point where, like, I'm, like, yo, it's happening. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, people like me are just like, yo, like, Roman's not going to lose to the... So, it's, like, undeniable, and I think... You know what I mean? With the Brock thing, it's like overcoming stuff and like really like, like I'm next. You know what I mean? It's really 110%. Like there won't be a debate about it. It's just like, Cody is it.
But
you know what I mean?
Is that SummerSlam or is that Mania next year?
I hope it's SummerSlam. I'm gonna be honest.
In Detroit, hard times.
Yeah.
I hope it's SummerSlam.
Brock has to get through those hard times.
I think the bias in me just wants to be Philly because it's here in Philly.
Oh, amazing. We'll talk about Mania in Philly. We'll talk about Mania in our backyard a little later. But yeah, that would be sick. I think Woody. I hope it's SummerSlam personally, but
I feel like it has to be one of the two.
If he gets the SummerSlam, and also how many matches is Roman fighting between now and SummerSlam?
One, two,
maybe two.
Right.
Yeah, maybe two.
Fight Night of Champions.
Oh,
and maybe
Money Champions,
yeah. Like maybe Money in the Bank.
Maybe.
I think I'll probably skip Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
He's skipping Backlash. There's no reason he won't skip Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Let's pause for one moment. They are trying to market. If you have noticed the past couple years, they are trying to market SummerSlam as like WrestleMania 2 for the summer. Like it's always been their it's always been a marquee top tier pay-per-view, but recently they have been. I'm like, damn. Like last year, I was like, damn, this is basically WrestleMania for the summer. Like, so. Yeah,
they're putting it in Ford Field this time.
Yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger.
80 or 90,000.
Exactly.
People.
Yeah.
Like,
so
that's huge.
That's why, like, if it's not like it has.
So if it's not SummerSlam,
one of those two,
right.
And at SummerSlam, he'll have hit his 1,000 days.
Yes,
so he'll got that.
Yeah,
he'll have beaten CM Punk's 434 days.
Right.
Heavyweight champion. So we get to knock everyone. WWE wants to knock his name off.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
And then he gets 1,000 days. He won't reach Hogan's 1,400, and that's okay.
I was looking at that. I don't think he's gonna reach that. We'll see. That'd be crazy.
That'll be another. That means that we'll have to be watching him win in Mania.
Oh yeah.
They really say like Bruno to beat Bruno or San Martino.
That's
like 2028.
2028. Yep. That's what it would take.
I can tell you if I have to watch Roman live in my city, win again.
Wait,
I start the riots.
Wait.
Follow me.
Wait. Let's rewind that. Say it again, Woody. That is okay. Say it again.
If I have to see Roman go over in my backyard,
WrestleMania 40,
I'm burning the place down.
It's the big dog's yard.
We should just start getting rolling already. Like if Roman wins, we riot. Just get the signs all over.
Start printing up shirts now.
And other cities have said that, but you're in Philly now. I don't know about.
They don't
Philly's a different vibe.
Philly's a different-
It's different. Like,
Philly's a
they don't
different
know how to
environment.
act like we
I
ride.
definitely think like SummerSlam would like be the time. Like even for me, like WrestleMania next year, like as it's just a bias to me, like wanting to see that moment in Philly. But I think like story wise and you know what I mean, keeping the fans like not becoming tainted like Woody as far as Roman's and seeing him. Like I feel like if it would have to be like some like crazy creative storyline stuff like if they were to do WrestleMania, but I definitely agree with the SummerSlam is like
if you're gonna do it, it should be there.
yeah.
Okay. Now with that said, Cody Rhodes, we were I was at Monday Night Raw, where Brock Lesnar, like, you know, beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Like, my lord, like, damn. I was like, damn, I feel bad for him. Like, this is just like this crazy past 2 nights, for him. Do you think that Cody? What do you think should happen, Cody versus Brock Lesnar? Do you think he should lose? Actually, do you think he should lose to Brock Lesnar or beat DQ? Like, this is what I mean. It has to be really delicate with this right now with Cody. Like,
I'd like to see like Cody just about taking the W and then like just Brock just
wins the match.
Just wins or
Okay.
like disqualification just Brock Lesnar's and just
Okay.
goes crazy monster
Yeah.
shit.
'Cause
Because then
he's
you
a
like
beast.
feel a little bit bad for Cody. You're like, oh, he
almost did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You got to keep that like.
I guess it really depends
Okay,
on
that's
what,
Hector's take.
what they're planning on doing, though.
Okay.
If you want Cody to go over by SummerSlam, you cannot have him lose clean to Brock.
Right.
He has to find a way to so either he has to find a way to build get over this mountain of a man,
Mhm.
or Brock can win with a DQ with the rest looking at the way low blow.
Right.
Like, give me some Brock has won any possible way he can
Right.
for years.
Right.
He brought farm equipment. Out
So
there
what would be
trying to get-
Yeah.
unbelievable, like some crazy.
I mean, he's been hitting low blows for a long time.
That's true.
Looking, so
That's true.
them elbows to Randy's head.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Boom. It's interesting y'all talked about mentioned that. Reef and I were talking. And Reef, feel free to chime in. I feel personally have Brock Lesnar completely beat the utter hell out of Cody, and Cody just gets a miracle win. They both look good. Cody withstands the beating. Brock Lesnar looks like the beast that he is. They kind of already did this with Cena versus Brock Lesnar. If you remember this from 2012, I thought at the time that Brock Lesnar should have. I was like, why the hell would he just come back and lose to John Cena? That makes no sense. Cena had just lost to The Rock, so I was like, all right, like, Brock Lesnar dominated the whole match. Cena just got a late flurry and managed to win, but he like gave up at the end. He was like, I'm questioning my career. I don't know what it was at the time. This is like 11 years ago now, but maybe if they do something like that where Cody barely ekes out a victory, and they both look strong, because that's that's happened.
Boy or small.
Yeah,
small
that's happened
package
before.
or
Bret
Yeah.
Bret Hart, that like just an example, like Bret Hart he won the championship off Kevin Nash Diesel way back in the day. He was getting like beat up the whole match because Kevin Nash is 7 foot, just throwing Bret around. Bret Hart rolled him up 1, 2, 3, and then Kevin Nash beat him up after the match, but Bret's the champ, So I don't know.
Would we be mad at like? Follow me now.
Okay, let's go.
Brock, DQ, just totally. Cody's just about to. Brock just suplex city, tables, farm equipment, whatever, and then you run it back, and then it's like, then Cody goes over. So it's
Okay,
like,
so he Brock wins the first match. Is that what you're saying? And then Cody wins the second match.
yeah.
They could do that. They could do it if it's ran
Like
out
that
the right way.
building up to that like
I still
Roman.
Roman.
Like I said though, like we
he still
said,
has to be like it has to be stolen from him somehow.
right.
It's got to seem like he was going to go over and something happened. Maybe outside interference. I mean, why would the Usos not mess with him? Why would Solo
Right,
not
right,
mess
yeah.
with him still?
Right.
But he doesn't do it. He can just pop up at the top of the ramp because music can play.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Heyman's like, you owe me that one favor.
And to be honest, I will say they kind of planted the seeds with Rhodes and Solo because Rhodes just straight up looked at Solo and was like, "You're not ready." And like I was like, damn, if I was Solo, I would totally like mess up Cody anytime I could.
Any
after that.
opportunity,
Any
right?
opportunity, yeah. So, you know.
Well, I think Cody just beat him on a live event this week too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
okay.
Went over
Okay.
clean on a live event against Solo.
Cool.
So, like,
Cool.
They're continuing that.
Yeah, maybe are they? You think they're kind of testing the waters for that because they do that at house shows.
I think,
yeah.
I think they really want to see like who Solo can be in the ring with and what he can do, because I think his ceiling is extremely high.
Oh yeah, they were really.
If it's not Cody, I think it could be Solo, the one that dethrones Roman.
Okay, so
Whoa.
Oh wow. Okay, so now we're talking about. Okay, so we're talking about Cody. Now we're talking about. What do you just opened the Pandora's box of someone other than Cody dethroning Roman. So Roman Reigns, let's spark on Roman Reigns here. The Bloodline storyline has gone on for the past what is it, like 2.5 years, almost 3 years. It's going to be 3 years this August since Roman Reigns returned from SummerSlam 2020 when it was still the Thunderdome or whatever during the height of the shutdowns with the pandemic and everything. So it's gonna be like really soon, like 3 years basically of the whole Roman Reigns heel bloodline thing, and when that was unfolding, like seeing like Jay and the first couple matches, like Jay going against Roman, and like then it evolving all the way to last year at the Clash at the Castle with Drew McIntyre, and I wanted Drew to talk. Maybe we should talk about Drew maybe a little bit later, but like. I feel like he was kind of shafted in his run. I just want to say, but anyway, Solo comes in there. So, do you think that the bloodline should just crumble in itself, and someone else within the bloodline should beat Roman if it's not Cody? And who should it be? You say Solo, or should it be Jay?
I'm Jay.
Yeah, I could get behind either one, but I think it almost would be more fitting if it was Solo that did it, but it was Jay that caused it.
Ooh. See, that's
where
that's
he kind of masterminded this. Where he got in Solo's ear a little bit,
Where I'm at, like kind of like almost combining kind of what our first topic about like Cody and then like the bloodline stuff. It's like I do think Cody is going to be the guy, like to do it. To do it. Yeah.
To interrupt the
take
reign.
Roman's.
Take the reign of the.
But the reason that one of the reasons that I knew it wasn't going to happen yet, because I feel like there's so much storyline as far as the bloodline, you know what I mean? Almost like a bloodline civil war to go.
Well, let's say storyline
because
it's been going over 3 years.
Because it's like, especially once the Usos lost, I was like, 1,000% Roman's not losing, because you know what I mean? Like, you can't talk shit to me about you losing your belt.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the king can't get mad at...
Oh, wow. So when they won the titles on night one, you're like, oh, that's a wrap. There's no way Cody's winning.
Yeah, because it's like, he has to have that berating. You know what I mean? They always had that, like, dynamic where it's like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They make one little mistake, and he's just like... Oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're not good enough, or you know what I mean? Are you really with the family? Or like always doubting. So I was like, that's once that happened, I was like, he's definitely 1,010% not losing the belt, because I would like to see like that bloodline like civil war where like
all right, Hector.
maybe like the Rock finally gets involved later down the line.
We'll see if that ever happens. I'm a big Rock guy. Briefest too. So we'll see whatever happens. I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it does, cool. Yeah. I don't know. It makes storyline sense. It actually makes sense. I think that part of the intrigue is that actually storyline wise, this actually makes sense for him to be in there.
Right.
He's the one guy you could actually be like, oh yeah, this guy's above Roman.
It's not like getting a celebrity or like one of the older guys in just for like
this
the
is like
pop
a true megastar.
Like,
this is who Roman's trying to be like. This is really arguably like the true king of the table if you want to be honest with it. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna materialize. But you are all Romaned up. So I'm sensing Hector, between you and Woody, when y'all are at the store, like shooting the shit, like the day to day and everything like that. Do y'all like, y'all really like to y'all like to debate amongst yourselves between Roman and
anytime you get a little like little river like shots in like.
Yeah, well, so Hector runs the store on the day-to-day basis.
Right,
he's the guy in there, so that is his domain.
Okay.
I walk in there and I realize that I got to take that beating.
He comes in and you're like,
right.
Every time I try to have this argument, do I really have a leg to stand on? Because it is Roman that won.
Right.
Hector was right. But I just think it's really important that we pan back from Roman, and we don't just look at what he's doing individually, and you got to look at the gestalt of WWE itself,
Right.
and think of what negativity is coming out of this reign. What? Oh, you may like this bloodline, you may like this Roman 1,000 reigns, whatever, but the damage that he's doing to the industry in itself is I think much worse than people are giving credit for.
Keep going, because I want to. You think Roman Reigns? You think Roman's run? Right now. Now I will say, just give me one moment here. I will say, Roman Reigns is the most pushed star I've ever seen. I think Cena was the catalyst personally back in the 2000s, but Roman was another level. Like, they just kept trying, and finally they got blood. He got a groove with the bloodline. It took like 7 years.
For a while, I thought there would never be another,
it just wouldn't.
Like The Rock was, and there was going to be like that guy.
They finally got it with Roman.
Yeah.
So I will say, before the bloodline, I completely get it. It was. I was like, this is like toxic, man. Like nobody wants this dude to be the guy, but you guys are like forcing it on us. Like even John Cena back in the early 2000s with Ruthless Aggression, he was even organic. He just got everybody, Rock, Austin, Hogan, all the big name stars. They were all organic. Roman did not feel that way. Daniel Bryan for that brief moment. CM Punk, everyone who got over on like a crazy level, they all felt organic except Roman. In 2015, I was there in that event. Rock came out. It's not, people thought The Rock got booed, but like it was really Roman getting booed. Like that, like just the crowd.
Oh, yeah?
Everyone loved The Rock coming seeing The Rock. It was just like Roman, like him raising the hand of Roman, like just wasn't. No one wanted it.
WWE and that editing, man.
Yeah, like I know, right? So Woody, what you were saying, like you think. Do you think it's the totality of Roman, or do you think it's legit this particular bloodline reign that is ruining wrestling? And go further into why you think it is negative and dangerous for the industry as a whole.
Well, I think you got it right on like for 8 years leading up to this, he was pushed to an insane amount. Where it was uncalled for.
Yeah.
And like you said, Cena was pushed. Everyone knows that. But he did start.
He was organically. Yep.
And then he got pushed to keep him in his place.
Exactly.
Roman was pushed until like we basically were like, fine.
Big difference. Yep.
We'll finally cheer for this guy because you made him a heel.
Right.
But what he's doing is, first of all, he's making it difficult for him to sign new talent. If you're a top star, if you're Jay White, right? You're Jay White coming over from Japan. Why would you sign with WWE when you know you won't get a chance?
Right.
You won't get a chance to sniff the title belt for another year. Kenny Omega's contract, it's not gonna, like MJF, it's not gonna matter. If they want to run with this he's the champion forever and ever and ever to Bruno Sammartino, you're gonna completely destroy any chance you have to sign the top talent out there.
That's a fair take. All right. I smell what you're cooking.
And then outside of that, it just outside of that, it doesn't work in the modern era. Like, no one wants to see this one person run this thing forever. You've held the hostage of the belts for so long, which means you can't bring up the talent in your own company. A lot of times, a talent isn't a championship talent until you actually put the belt on them and give them a run. And you see what they can do, and you go, wow, this guy can really do it. And, like we all love Kofi Kingston. But his history wouldn't be cemented if he didn't have this amazing championship run.
Right.
And you don't get stories like that when you take a belt and you hide it on someone for 3+ years.
Right.
And then you say, well, maybe that's making the other, like the IC belts better, the US belts better. IC belt's an amazing thing right now. Gunther's had it for over a year. Gunther should be a huge story, but his story is diminished. Because, it's a year, but it's not as good as Roman, right?
Man, that's a good call.
Bianca,
So
God,
other
Bianca
years,
Belair.
Gunther would be. That's a good point, Woody. Hector, what do you think about that?
What-
That's a good point.
what's
Reef,
a
what do you think?
good
That's
length?
pretty good.
Great
That's a good
point, yeah.
For like for kind of everybody, what would have been a good length run to still get the same impactful feel of like Roman just being like that guy without crossing that line to you feeling that way?
I think I have a. Let's look at what happened with Evolution back in the day, back in Ruthless Aggression. They they had turmoil in that group. It was a much shorter version of it, but it had similar. Triple H was the guy during that time. Whether I know a lot of people look at it as like Triple H's reign of terror, like back then and stuff like that. But he lost the title at times during that. He was still effective as like being a dastardly heel. You can argue Triple H is a top 5 heel ever. You know what I mean? You can argue it. When he at his peak, and he and he was putting over guys and making stars while doing it. He put over Batista. He put over. He eventually put over Randy Orton. So I think that eventually, yeah. I was about to stop myself. Like,
I think the feel is different though than.
But it's a different era back then. This is years ago, so it's a different climate now.
2 years, 1 year.
I think
a year and a half.
If you're gonna do
year and a half.
If you're gonna do both belts, it's got to be around a year.
Yeah,
you got to hit that 434 day to knock out CM Punk. So I get that.
Yeah.
But then he didn't have to have the Universal belt for 2 years leading up to that. You know what I mean? This is where it gets sloppy.
So did you have an issue with the Usos having both tag belts too? Like the Bloodline just having the gold?
It was unnecessary to unify the tag belts. It seemed like, once again, like they didn't have the people in the back to write the stories they needed. So they just you literally put 6 belts in between 3 people.
But
yeah, it's a bit
I don't know, man. It just makes it undeniable, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's undeniable if they would have held
whether
it for
and I mean they're very
days
heels, whether it was a clean wins, like it was like, by any means necessary, and like to me that just like is a moment in itself, like, you know what I mean, like a statement in and of itself, where it's like, yeah, like I'm not. You can't deny I'm the best. You know what I mean? Like, right. the bloodline, you know what I mean?
But that's exactly my issue, is you can deny he's the best. He just has the best friends in the back. He's got the best booking
it's always
a
politics.
wrestler's ever had. He's got the best booking a wrestler's ever had.
It's politics.
But he, in the ring, is not a top 20 wrestler.
Oh, boy.
In the ring.
Oh, boy.
In the ring.
Now we're getting in the ring now. Oh, boy.
At least 10 people from almost every era better than him.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, you're probably right.
Hey, I'm going to ask Hector a question real quick. This is going to really bother him. Hector, in the ring, who's better, Roman Reigns or Chris Jericho?
Oh, Chris Jericho.
Oh, come on.
Chris Jericho.
Okay. It's not even a...
yeah.
No, all right. I'm not laughing at you, Roman, but I think even you would have... I mean... come on.
Yeah,
in the ring.
In the ring.
Yeah. Roman, you're a bigger star than Chris Jericho, but in the ring... Come on.
It's not a competition, yeah.
It's just like come on. Roman just has like the whole like package and that just like aura about him, and like the size, and you know what I mean? Like there is the politics and like the bloodline and the history of it. You know what I mean? With like Fatu, you know what I mean? Just like the lineage of everything. Like
the history is great.
Yeah, like so I feel like that all adds to it. But yeah, like Chris Jericho in the ring.
In the ring, is it Roman or Brock?
I'll say this. I'll say this. We actually kind of like debated about this a little bit, Reef, I think.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar has actually, to be fair, I know one of our friends, he's not a Brock Lesnar like fan at all. But we have another friend who's a huge Brock Lesnar, like thinks he's like perfect for this era and thinks he loves Brock Lesnar. Like he loved Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Undisputed title last year. Thought it was the biggest match they could have and loved it. And we were like, I don't know about that. But I will say this: Brock Lesnar has had classic matches. He's had classic matches with CM Punk. Maybe the dance partner he's been with has to be quality, but nonetheless he's had the classic matches. CM Punk, The Rock, at SummerSlam 2002, Kurt Angle multiple times, Taker. He's had notable, like, we can just name them off. WrestleMania 19. No Mercy, the Hell in a Cell, No Mercy 2002. He's had classic matches. I will say Roman Reigns, in terms of just like a one-on-one, I have a little difficulty in terms of just like a match. Maybe 2015 WrestleMania 31. That was a good match, but that was Seth Rollins' moment, making that the triple threat.
Exactly.
So Roman Reigns I think he's solid. I think he's a solid performer. I do. I think he's a solid performer, but I think you got to give it to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has had, because he's proven it. He's had at least 5 to 7, 10 like legit classic. They would be put on classic matches.
Yeah.
Anyone?
This is no. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And I think
time will tell.
It makes it really hard.
Sure.
It makes it really hard to look at someone who he's not a top 5, maybe not even a top 10 in-ring performer in current era.
Would Roman be in the same position in that ruthless aggression?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a good. Oh man, see now we're about to. Oh man, I don't know. It's interesting to go. It was just like with sports and like basketball. Like I was just talking to Reef. Like we always get into like LeBron and Jordan and stuff like that, and like it's difficult to get into different eras. But like I guess maybe it is easier to do that with wrestling because like, at the core, the storytelling and the craft and the same materials you see through the eras kind of is the same. I will say that today's athletes are more athletic than ever, but that's not the full story of everything like that. Ruthless Aggression was stacked with talent, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, sorry I mentioned his name, Voldemort, Kurt Angle, Jericho.
Just the SmackDown roster alone.
It's just
insane.
insane. So I don't know in terms of
Roman would have got laughed out of that building.
You think he would have got laughed? Damn, I don't know about that.
You had to do two things. You had to do two things well back then. You had to either wrestle amazing, or you had to be on the mic and be amazing on the mic.
Yeah.
And for the first 7 years of his career, he could not. He was afraid to give that dude a mic.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't know what he was going to stumble over. And then in the ring, I will give him credit. He's gotten much better.
He's definitely. I think he's solid.
First 6 years.
Take away the time where he the 8 years where he wasn't like this iteration.
This iteration of Bloodline.
Reigns.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna just give him 8 years free? That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't have made it to this point. He wouldn't have got 8 years in the system. So no, he wouldn't have made it in the Ruthless. They would have shipped him out.
Okay, let's park here. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna transport my mind back to like watching Ruthless Aggression as it progressed. Reef, I know that's you love Ruthless Aggression, so feel free to
People hate me for saying this, but I think for me personally,
better than
I
Attitude
like
I get it.
I know it's
Chris
unpopular.
He says all the time. He was like, if you ask somebody like back then, like who their favorite wrestler was, like there really wasn't a wrong. You know what I mean? Like there were so many people that you could say, and you'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're like now it's like, oh, this person. You're like, why?
So let's transport ourselves to like so we're gonna attempt to transport ourselves to 2002, 3, 4, 5. Ruthless Aggression was yep, right, exactly like that. And we're gonna plop Roman. Which iteration of Roman? Bloodline, right?
Current
bloodline. I don't think if you're gonna give him So Triple H was running wild back then, and Triple H had just been in marquee feuds with two of the biggest stars of all time, arguably, in Austin Rock. He has marquee feuds with that, and also had a match with freaking Hulk Hogan. So he had marquee matches with. So Triple H is there. So that alone with Evolution, he had a stranglehold of everything then, and obviously married to Stephanie. And then Batista becoming getting groomed and then becoming big, and then the rise of John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Woody, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know if Roman. That's tough. Roman would have had to. I don't know. He would have had to carve another lane because the bloodline wouldn't have even. I don't know. And The Rock was still around every once in a while too, so he's not gonna. He's not supplanting The Rock. Right. No chance.
And you got a very different Vince back then.
Very different Vince.
Who liked to book people of color very differently.
True.
So that's true. Yeah.
Still pissed off about Booker T. I say it every episode. Still pissed off.
There's a chance.
That infamous backstage.
What's
up, my?
That and WrestleMania 19. WrestleMania 19. That storyline, him losing that. Just whatever. Anyway,
there's a chance that Roman just gets put on like it's a pair of shades and he's dancing in the ring with Rikishi, and he's the fourth member of Too Cool.
Oh my god!
And the fourth member, not the second, third. He's the fourth member of Too
All right,
Cool.
is that disrespectful?
Being like level of like Umaga.
I mean,
is that a little disrespectful?
It's like you said, it was stacked back then.
It was stacked.
I can see that. Yeah.
Damn.
I can see that.
It was meant to be disrespectful. It was. Yeah. So.
Or he could have been paired with like Umaga.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Second
could,
of the Wild Samoans.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a reiteration of that.
Okay, all right.
Don't just have him out there shaking and jiving,
Yeah, but I'm still saying he's not reaching the.
He's probably not reaching the heights that he's at right now. Which now that we're talking about this on our Instagram account, on the Wrestling Crew Real TWC Instagram account, we had a poll. Has Roman Reigns ascended? I'm not sure if you saw this or not, Woody. Has Roman Reigns ascended to Hogan, Rock, Austin, megastar level, and 53% said yes. So I just want to say, you know, it was a small sample size in this poll, but you know, what do we think about that? Has with this dominance of Roman Reigns, this iteration of the Bloodline, the storyline has been incredible, and Roman Reigns as a heel has been better than anything he's done in his whole career. People are gonna look back. I think we even had another poll before saying like, well, the next generation, like let's say like kids that are like 10 years old right now, and like, you know, like say like 15 years from now, are they gonna view Roman as their GOAT? And a lot of people were like, yeah, probably. So let's, you know, we've all seen wrestling for years. I'm talking about like future stuff.
What do you think
what I
that
mean?
says about like the current state of
wrestling?
Like,
Of like
if you throw Roman back then, and it's like, you know what I mean, that's how we feel about it, and it's like he's thriving now due to the current, you know what I mean? What does that like say about like the current like?
Well, I think you can throw out a real blanket statement and say like when it comes to wrestling, and this we all are guilty of this as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to wrestling, kids are dumb. and we were dumb kids too. Like we were dumb kids who ate our vitamins and said our prayers because Hogan told us to. You know what I mean? Like you're huge marks when you're a kid, and
Right.
you follow
Yeah.
whatever
Right.
they tell you to follow. As you get older, you start to realize, oh wait, this is actually terrible. That being said, the Bloodline is one of the best storylines ever told in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
It's
It's pretty
great.
good. It's pretty good.
It's like a 3+ year all-encompassing story. Amazing, just really well done, and I think it should look back on as a good thing that wrestling did,
Especially in this day and age of social media, short attention span. It's been
it's
yeah.
so much tougher to run a wrestling
It's tough
promotion nowadays than
Yep.
it was back in the day.
Yeah.
People
Internet
maintaining
leaks all
kayfabe,
everywhere. Mhm.
Yeah, it's
In the league, people can easily share their feelings about,
Yep.
you know what I mean,
left and right.
Yeah.
Didn't want to interrupt you, Woody. Go ahead.
you have to react to everything. You not just react to the 15,000 people in the stadium every week, but you have to react to another 2 million online
Yep.
every day.
Every day,
Like that's
every second.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you're talking about like WWE running one of the largest, you know, YouTube accounts in the history of YouTube. And
Yep.
all these things. That being said, it is hard to compare what they're doing now to what they're doing back then. And if you want to say your top 4, your top 5, that megastar era.
We're talking about stars. We talk stars, not in ring perform, but like stars, crossover ability, pops, record, ratings, attendance, gates, all that stuff, buy rates. The people who like separate themselves from the pack, and in the modern era, those three. I don't want to get into this, but like I don't put Cena on. Cena. If people want to make Cena 4, fine, but I think the separation's pretty. It's there. But you know, Cena is the biggest star since The Rock and Austin by far. So you know that's what you're saying. If people think Roman Reigns, do y'all think that Roman Reigns has now ascended, or with this latest run, he will ascend to that level?
I think there's a chance.
Okay.
I think it's a very good chance, but I also think that in the last 3 years,
Woody just don't want to just say yes.
Well, because I want to make sure and give credit where credit's due. Because in the last 3 years, I think what Cody has done for wrestling, not WWE, but
For wrestling, no, it's
is more important and will be looked at as a bigger deal in 10 years than what Roman did in the last 3 years.
That's a great take.
Having the most
I think so.
compelling storyline is amazing, but he literally helped bring up an entire other company, and that company is going to force WWE to stop half-assing things. So
Exactly.
Right.
I think that's a great point.
Why did just Cody though?
Well, I mean, because he's going to be the figurehead of this. He's going to be looked at as like one of the guys that did it. Obviously, you know, the full elite,
Young
all that
Bucks.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the Tony Khan could have that, but I think Cody's going to get a lot of the credit for it.
Kid about Tony Khan.
Damn. Okay.
He just had daddy's money.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's
That's
true.
it.
I hear you.
You don't want to like over congratulate a nepo baby too much.
Right,
But, you know,
right.
like, thank you still a little bit for AEW.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
But looking back on it, Woody, and just like I do hear what he's echoing there. Like Cody was kind of like the let's just be real. He was kind of like the rejected guy. Like, and then he goes in and gathers up what was all in like the biggest non WWE like attendance like record.
Something like that, yeah.
In like the history of professional wrestling.
Yeah, that's
It
pretty
was
wild.
pretty impressive that he showed the gateway of the diversity and the different segments of wrestling fans. That like people obviously know WWE's king, but like wrestling fans want another alternative, and that's all really he was trying he was getting at, and I think that's a good point. And looking back on it, in terms of, and actually everyone likes to talk about wrestling booms. There was an indie boom in the 2010s and up to now, like a huge indie boom. And Cody and everybody else that he was involved with, they kind of tapped into that, which basically launched into AEW. So I think that's an interesting point that, you know, it could be looked at as like a, you know, just as if not more impactful. And good perspective.
The indie boom was there because there was a vacuum. There was always been a secondary source of wrestling needed from WWE, because that is not everyone's cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
We get people that come into our store every single day. They're like, "Oh, you watch wrestling? Yeah. Like, what do you watch? AEW and New Japan." They do not touch WWE's product because it has become, you know, very much of a soap opera in line with the wrestling.
Right.
But some people, you know, like myself included, just eat that up.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. I get my entertainment, I get my sports, I get everything I need in one spot.
Right.
But as we're AEW is much more like this is the best wrestlers in the world wrestling each other in amazing matches every week. That is what some people love about wrestling. They don't need all the 15 minutes of a compelling storyline behind. They want, like, give me a little promo, give me a great match. And that fulfills both desires, and you need that. You need to have both sides of that, or else, like, wrestling as a whole is not going to succeed in the future.
Right.
For sure. So Roman Reigns on that level, I guess, is to be determined, but there's a possibility because of everything going on now. We all agree on that? Well, Hector, I think you think he's already... It's happening.
It's happening.
All right, cool.
It's already,
cool.
like, there. It's like next week it just crosses.
Right.
Like,
I got you.
Let him lose the belt, and let him chase for a little bit and win it back in some strict solo matches.
You think he needs a face run? That's what I was trying to put. I put that on the poll. Like, do you think he still needs to? Because his face run was not successful at all. Like, when they tried to do that with him, his heel run but has he had all those stars have had, like, well, Cena hasn't had that. Well, even he was a heel, but he didn't have the monster heel run. But the bottom line is that most of them, especially the big three, they had the monster heel run. I mean, they had the monster white, like mega crazy babyface run where everyone's like going goo goo gaga about their reign. Like, Roman hasn't had that yet.
I think between here and WrestleMania in Philly, it's gonna cement.
It's gonna
because even after he loses it, how things go and how it plays out after. Mm-hmm. It's not just gonna be like Cody pins him once, you know what I mean?
And then like he goes away.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like
he's done.
It's not happening. You know
Never
what I mean?
see him again.
So like that, I feel like it's just gonna like solidify. I feel like that's gonna solidify like to where it's not debatable. It's like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold, like Roman Reigns.
Okay,
I totally
that's
agree
fair.
with JB on this. I didn't really think about it, but no, I don't think he can be up there unless he has a face run. Because I think you really have to show that you can run run a full campaign as face, and you can run it as heel. But unless you can do both, then you don't belong on that list. Because otherwise, you're too one-dimensional. You got to show versatility, and so far he is not a versatility because he is not hasn't been a success.
Let's break it down. Just that's all you like pondering. I'll break it down a little bit. Hogan had the white. Hogan, you know, look, everyone has their opinions about Hogan. Get it? I completely understand. We're just talking about impact on the business. Got it? Right? That's what we're focusing on now. Mega face in the '80s, the guy in the '80s, right? He wrestling boom in the '80s. He kind of like simmered down a little bit, but then he reignited with Hollywood Hulk Hogan. NWO, changed the business, right? Okay, Austin came in as floundering as the ringmaster. Already had good work in WCW. Did his thing promo-wise ECW. Then caught fire with Stone Cold. Things had to go his way with Triple H getting punished, and then King of the Ring. But he had, as Vince would say, he took the ball and ran with it. Great promo work. He was a heel that formed into a tweener. With his, in 96, 97, he had a really good heel run, then formed into a tweener, then just, he was a tweener, but became like the biggest face ever.
Yeah, right. Once Vince was on the other side of it,
then you have
he created his own lane like that.
That's what I'm saying.
That true tweener didn't exist so much.
Exactly. He defined. When I think tweener, I'm like, oh, that's Austin. Like, you're right.
So like,
he carved his lane.
Even if he wasn't a true face and heel, you have to give him credit because he created the third.
It's right. I agree 100%. So, and I'm not even a big Austin guy, and I'm saying that. Like, you just have to give respect, right? So, The Rock, like, completely failed as a babyface first coming in. Then Mike Skills gets a groove as The Rock, starts as a heel in the Nation. Then rises like as a briefly as a huge face, then goes heel again for the corporation. Then people cheering him while he's a heel. Then he turns face. Crazy run.
Back and forth.
Crazy run. So he has the corporate in a short amount of time. I will say that, but corporate and then crazy mega face baby face run in 99, 2000, 2001, all that stuff. And it's him and Austin at the top, blah, 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 all that stuff. So those three have and while that's all happening with those three, like crazy pops night and out. I even used to say when people be like, what are the biggest pops? I'm like, you can probably just turn on Raw between 98 and 2002, like with The Rock or Stone Cold opening the show. And that's probably on the list somewhere. You know what I mean? Hogan getting 10-minute standing ovations at Montreal when he came back. Those guys, they each had diverse runs, as I think Woody was getting at. Now we get to we're talking about Roman now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roman, there was a brief period when he was with the Shield that he was brief, like 2013, 14 when he had, I think didn't he break Kane's record in 2014? I was like, all right, they're doing that because that performance with Kane was awesome. I was even back then, I'm like, Austin's gonna win this, but Kane was killing it. I wouldn't even be mad if Kane won that. That's how awesome he was at that Royal Rumble. He breaks that record, and you can see him all right, they're revving up for Roman Reigns. Then he wins in 2015. Nobody wanted it because Daniel Bryan was there, CM Punk was there. In 2014.
Daniel Bryan wasn't there, and that was the problem. Everyone wanted Daniel Bryan that year.
Exactly, everyone wanted Daniel Bryan.
I was in the crowd too.
Oh yeah, exactly. Daniel Bryan at that point. Which, by the way, some of his reactions. Just shout out to Daniel Bryan. It's a shame. I almost feel it's forgotten, but that guy was getting Rock Austin responses for his period of time. It just didn't materialize because of his injuries, in my opinion. I think that he had a shot to, But anyway, I don't really want to rant. I think that Roman Reigns was kind of it just didn't. He had support, but it wasn't on that level. It was kind of just forced. And now he finally gets that groove with the bloodline, and it's been awesome. But he hasn't. I would agree that he hasn't had that, white meat babyface run, truly organic run. He has not had it yet.
I think he has it in him, and I think the issue before was the whole force thing.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like to, you know what I mean? Before, because when he came back, you know what I mean? After he beat leukemia, you were cheering for him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Even I was cheering. That was
right.
Of course.
Story.
That was awesome.
Story. I'm not heartless.
Then everyone booed.
But that's what it was right. You mean, don't you get
3 months later, everyone's like, boo.
It's it's almost like they that might have to be a formula or find a way to diverge from that. Where it's because with social media and all that, no wrestling fans are very adamant, don't tell me who to like. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's they're always gonna have that guy in the office that they're gonna push. Where it's 1 out of 10 is going to get over being pushed. The other 9, no matter how good people are gonna be, don't tell me who to like.
Right.
Even if I really don't like or not like, I'm indifferent about it. Just because you're telling me to like it, and I feel that's what happened with Roman Reigns.
Right.
So all he's just gonna need is lose the belt, just that screw the office. You know what I mean? Just that right opponent. And so when he does, because he is such a big heel, when it does switch, I feel it will connect.
I will say this.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel that. And I will say this in Roman Reigns' favor, actually. I will say this. I think a couple things that he does have going for him is this, this dominance will be looked upon in, WWE will prep him up in the legacy department. He's going to be looked at as a dominant, champion for, even though he he is a heel champion. I think a couple clean wins would be good for him.
Stone Cold and The Rock, like you were saying,
just
still the length of the title run. You know what I mean? When they break down with the actual numbers of, you know what I mean, those title runs
they weren't as long as not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Just like you said, just mix in a couple.
Yeah, I got you.
Clean wins.
Prove
that he's dominant. That's all.
Once he turns face.
I don't think Reigns has crossed over into the pop culture lexicon like the other three have yet.
Not yet.
I haven't seen any.
I agree with that.
Look, I'll put it like this.
People still think he's Aquaman.
Yeah. Look. This is what I mean though. A couple of I think I went over to a friend's house to see a pay-per-view. I talked to just a person who was at this like next door neighbor of this group of people I was meeting up with, and I was like, yeah, did you used to watch wrestling? She's like, yeah, I used to watch that. I was like, yeah, like did you know Austin? She's like, yeah, of course, Austin The Rock. I was like, oh yeah, did you know The Rock was like a wrestler before like movies? She's like, oh, of course I know The Rock. Like, that's like asking like not knowing about boxing, but I don't know who like Mike Tyson is. Like, do you understand what just happened in that? Yeah. To her, like she basically said like, of course I know who The Rock was a wrestler because he was that big when he was a wrestler. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if Roman Reigns has gotten to that yet. Everyone always mentions Stone Cold and The Rock. Cena at this point too. A lot of people mention Cena is a lot of people. There was on the women's basketball.
Oh yeah.
People. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that you can't see me. Yeah. So maybe, but to Roman Reigns' favor, look, maybe one time, if you go in a park and you just go like this, maybe that will cross over and people will start to do that. That remains to be seen. Maybe those ingredients are happening right now. But to this day, one time I was at a meeting sometime in college or whatever, I did this. I did that. Someone knew I was talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin. If I said like, know your role or shut your mouth, or if you smell what the Rock's going, and everyone like people like I know people in grade school, like a teacher who was like 50 at the time knew that. Like Hogan, say your vitamins, eat your prayers, brother, or just say brother. Like people know that. I don't like you can't see me with Cena. People know that. Dong, the Undertaker, you know that. Sexy. I mean, HBK isn't on like those level, but like it's. People know that.
He wasn't Playgirl. Like there's a lot.
That's a good point. That's a good point. My sister had a crush on. Sorry, Amber. My sister had a crush on Shawn Michaels back in the day. People. I'm saying. I know Roman Reigns has a lot of people that like him, but like. Oh yeah, and the DX like that. Everyone got kicked out of.
Bede was just like doing like.
Yes. Trust the process. And
Triple H was like, yeah, I paid a fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like so. I don't. What is yet to be seen? Like maybe that is happening right now, Hector. As we're talking, like maybe more and more
acknowledge
people
me,
or acknowledge me too, or like acknowledge, like
right.
People. Maybe those things that are happening with this reign and this run right now are crossing over as we speak. But I don't think it's quite there yet. Maybe he needs that face run to do it.
Listen, I don't think has the crossover appeal that the Miz has right now.
Damn.
The Miz is more recognizable outside of wrestling than. Well, you gotta think that dude.
The shows, yeah.
Popular show. He's
Real World MTV icon. He's in, yeah.
He was on the NBA All-Star game, All-Star Weekend. Almost hit the game-winning shot, like an amazing half-court shot. He's on interviews. He's everywhere right now.
Damn,
I don't think
man.
He's that good. Yes. He's that media guy. Like, exactly. Yeah.
But you want to talk about like why isn't Roman?
Maybe not Chris Jericho, who's Swazi. But I was watching Cobra Kai. And one of the characters was singing Judas, like in a scene.
Yeah.
I was like, damn,
that's an amazing song.
It is a great song, yeah. But like, Chris Jericho, shout out to him. He's been able to adapt for 25 years. Like, but I think Roman. We'll see.
They were also having a conversation in the middle of.
That's what I'm saying.
Right,
it's happening right now. So let's see the lasting effects. Maybe like a year. Let's see after WrestleMania 40. I think that's a good barometer.
Yeah.
Because it's the 40th anniversary. They're gonna hype the hell out of it. It's in the best wrestling city on the planet.
That's right.
Like,
and I think the big part is gonna be after he loses it. What happens after? You know what I mean? I feel like that's gonna be the. Is he going to be in that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or we talked about, or is it just the numbers?
I think like it's funny when we talk about these stuff. Like it's like like. Whether you have the detractors or the opinions, like okay, this is how Hogan ruled the 80s, Austin Rock ruled the late 90s.
You ask all these like young
everyone
kids
knows
now,
that.
you know what I mean?
Everyone knows Cena now.
Roman Reigns bloodline, like
that's
we're from a different era, so we're like we always have a little bit of bias.
That's a good point.
Like, you know what I mean?
That's a fair point.
But it's like you ask like this generation.
If you ask a 10-year-old right now, they're gonna be like this little like 8-year-old's gonna be like. Like that.
No offense to Cody Rhodes, but it's not Cody Rhodes. You ask these like young kids now, it's the bloodline.
I think early 20-somethings is Cena. I think like teenagers to early 20-somethings, like mid 20-somethings is Cena.
I have a 7-year-old. I showed him wrestling. He watched it for a few months.
Did he say Cena?
There's one match with Cena, and my son is the biggest Cena fan.
There we go. That's fair.
It took him 5 minutes on the screen, and he stole the show.
That's fair.
It's amazing what that guy does.
There we
go. It's like his entertainment is understandable enough to all demographics.
Credit to John Cena.
Where it's like some wrestlers like the older guys get it. You know what I mean? Certain things they do, or you know what I mean, or like more clean cut. Where like Cena was just like, yo, like you get it. He's clean
huge
cut,
with kids.
and then
I get
even
it.
like the you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can't see me stuff. Like
This is all I want. This is all I want in the world. Is I've been to so many damn pay-per-views.
Mhm.
I've been to so many shows. I want to go to a WWE show, a pay-per-view specifically, and I want to leave there happy.
That's
I have
never
not-
happened.
I have not left a pay-per-view happy
Really?
in years because I'm forced to watch this man who's been shoved down my throat, hold up there with the belt, with the
Dun,
wands,
dun,
with the
dun, dun,
whatever
dun.
it is. And now it's better. It's better because now when they turned him heel and he's got the heel heat, I'll respect a good heel winning. Like that's good. That's doing business.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean? But at Mania, give the fans what they want. Take a page out of AEW's book one damn time and give the fans something they actually will enjoy.
I feel like it's definitely redundant at this point. Like, what has it been like? 3
Well, I
years
think
now?
It's
that's
been
why.
3 years. 3
So
years
I think
now.
that. So I
It's
feel like
not
that's
3
why I
years,
like the
3 years.
change of
It's like-
contract though.
It's like it's 9 out of 10 years.
Oh, with Roman. Oh, it's
Yeah,
like this.
it's
It's a
not-
decade.
That's
It's
what I
basically a
mean. I
decade.
think-
yeah.
with
it's a decade.
with his new contract, like I think they know that, and I think that's why they're gonna have him on less. You know what I mean? Like it's the only thing he's gonna be really dealing with is the build up to the Cody thing. So like you're not gonna see him on every pay-per-view leading up and like every episode of
But you
SmackDown.
can't
I think he's
do
gonna
that.
get drafted to Raw, but
He's still gonna be champion though.
But you
Yeah,
can't
so
do that
I-
if he has both belts.
kind of like side note, I
Uh-huh.
think that they're going to move him to Raw.
Talk about the draft.
He's
Yep.
gonna take. They're gonna unify the belts.
Okay.
It's gonna be one belt, and then Fox is gonna let SmackDown not have a belt, and because there's rumors of them bringing back another belt that's
Oh, okay.
reminiscent of the 10 pounds of gold.
Now
big
that-
So
gold
that's
belt.
gonna be how
Yeah.
they Roman doesn't take a loss. He still say when they brought in the made the Universal title, they unified
Right,
the belts.
right.
So I think they're just gonna do that again, bring back another belt because
That is
Fox
the only
as a business
variable.
isn't gonna be like you're not gonna have
That
not
is the
have my
only
show with a
variable
belt.
that makes some of this okay because you cannot have Roman continue to hold both belts hostage for another year because the idea of us only seeing the major belts beyond
Yeah.
for what maybe 4 or 5 times in a year.
Yeah, that worked in the '80s. It ain't working in
It's
2023.
ridiculous.
It's not happening. It's just a different. It's a different climate.
Yeah.
I agree.
You look
I
at
agree.
this. Since he's had both belts, 7 times he's defended the belts in over a year.
They're
Like-
going for that big match feel. I
Even-
agree. They need
even
to.
the
Need
CM
to.
Punk run. Even the
Yeah.
CM Punk was kind of a heel. I know we talked about this before, where I was saying like, well, Hogan had it for 1,400 days, and those 1,400 days he defended the belt like over 100 times.
Right.
Mhm.
But he was a face, so
Right.
he had to. Roman's a
Right.
heel, so it was only 28 times in
I fight on my time.
in his almost 1,000 days.
Right. Right.
But CM Punk in his 434 days, who was kind of a tweener,
Mhm.
kind of a heel, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
he still did it
Kind of a
13
dick.
times.
Mhm.
13 times, and that's still almost twice as much as Roman in the same time.
That's
Like,
crazy.
You
That's
can't
crazy.
Different times though.
But you gotta give the people a chance to just see the belt. Seeing a title match in person is a special thing. Even if it's stupid Roman winning again, it's still a special thing. Like, and
I
to
feel
think
ya.
that I could take my son to a pay-per-view and he would not see any of the major titles is an absolute shame.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's. I agree with that. Like you gotta. Yeah. Especially if it's a major pay per view
So that
or pay per view in
variable-
general. To be honest
I
with
think
you.
that's fair though, because like when I went to Extreme Rules, like obviously the payoff was like Bray Wyatt returning and stuff, but
Yeah.
I still looked at it and was like, why is Roman not here?
Yeah.
so
I, feel
I
ya.
mean, I definitely
so sorry, you couldn't we took a busy time.
Right.
Couldn't come to a freaking pay-per-view in Philly. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another
yeah.
reason, you know why? He's afraid of Philly. Roman's afraid of Philly. They don't want him to have the championship, and he'll lose it before then.
Oh
That's right.
man.
Afraid of Philly.
Oh man. With that said, that was alluding to WrestleMania in Philly, but I wanted to just mention a couple of things. Can Woody and Hector, can y'all briefly talk about what y'all do at SVW? Because SVW is running wild in Philly. It's a great space.
Awesome
Woody
place.
and Woody, you and I had a discussion. It's on our YouTube page. Subscribe and follow. And it was a great discussion about what goes on at SVW. Hector cameoed on it too as well, and like go further in depth about like what y'all are doing and like what's been going on since WrestleMania. How was the WrestleMania party and how was 420 day?
420 day. No, we just really wanted to create just have a spot for stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like just on a day to day, like you were saying, like me and Woody, we go at it all the time. Al gets in, Chris gets in. You know what I mean? Some of our like regulars get in, and there's just like nowhere for that.
Right.
And
right.
with wrestling, feel like being like more popular right now than ever. With you know what I mean, like the AEW stuff, and like that, like you were saying, Cody and them, like giving those like independents like another like
outlet,
more attention and more eyes onto it and stuff. So like, but there's nowhere to like. There's not a bar. There, like, it's crazy to me that like even WWE, I think they did, what was it, like late 90s? They had the restaurant in like they had one in Orlando and then one in Times Square.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was like almost like a Hard Rock Cafe kind of thing, and it was just like maybe it was just like wrong time or just the just like not done right. But it was like, why is there nothing like this? You know what I mean? Especially with all the history here in Philly.
For sure.
As far as like ECW, like CZW across the bridge, like all the stuff.
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor, right? Yeah.
So many Philadelphia is a hub of all things wrestling. Like you've talked about it.
WWE has so much history
this
here.
This is a huge history center of wrestling, and with the fact that our store is 5 minutes away from the 2300 arena, you know, people need to know that when people travel to Philadelphia just for wrestling, how many people did we see for that New Japan show over last week that were from Pittsburgh, Detroit,
Australia?
That's
amazing. That's amazing.
They come all over just for this New Japan show at the 2300 arena. They all stopped at Suplex.
Wow.
Every single one of them was coming in. So we're trying to cement ourselves as the spot that if you like wrestling, or if you
visit
love wrestling,
you
come to our store.
Because
we are this podcast, but all the time. You know, like if you wonder why me and Hex sound so conversational talking about wrestling, because we literally do this every day, and we invite people to come in and do the same thing with us.
Beautiful.
We love the idea of someone coming there and like telling me I
tell Woody that Roman Reigns is the
100%. I 100%. I want someone to walk into the store.
Man, you think Roman Reigns is entering? You think Roman Reigns is killing the business? What the? And you're like, yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Like, this is just year 3 of 6. You know, like
and people to just feel comfortable too, and
right.
From local kids that are wrestling in the park, and you know what I mean, have dreams to like. You know, people coming from Australia, overseas, that are like following, you know what I mean, different shows, seeing like an ECW reunion or a New Japan show. Because it's like, if you like wrestling, like, why would you not want to see and experience it? And that's already like why we're like, we need a bigger spot.
That's crazy. Yeah, y'all already looking for that. Yeah, go into that. Y'all already looking for the space y'all have is amazing.
Yeah.
It's already like the space you have is absolutely incredible. Like, you know,
we
y'all even put up
so much stuff put away that it's almost like, what other creative ways can we display or put stuff out that's not going to hinder anything? That'll, you know what I mean?
But we're looking to expand because
you're already looking to expand.
But it's because of the community. You've already had such a great like the things we're hearing from people and the people we get to come out to our watch parties. We're like, yeah, our watch party. We have to start capping them because we're filling up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We talked about. It was only a matter of time. Yeah. I mean, come on.
So what's better? We start capping the watch parties, or we find a bigger spot to do it.
Right.
And now we can have a few more people come out there. And then we get maybe a better location that's a little easier for people to find. We get a little more foot traffic, so we can spread this great wrestling message to more people. You got to admit, a lot of wrestling fans out there, not 100% the most social people of all time.
I can see that.
This is like, we like to be on message boards. We like to be reading the stuff. You know,
I am a self-proclaimed forum dweller. I do it. I love the talk. I do it.
Listen, man, we're just trying to bring the Discord out here to the public again. You know what I mean? We want. Because we talk about how, you know, kids are dumb. But listen, they also loved it.
Right.
I remember as a kid, it was the absolute best time of wrestling because we didn't know what was going on, because we could get together and we could have all this amazing fun.
Yeah.
I want to have that as an adult, too.
Yeah.
And we want to have a spot for adults and kids alike. We can kind of combine and all still just enjoy wrestling.
And all like that, like-minded, because like you can see, you know what I mean, like the very like to themselves. Mm-hmm. It's like you start talking wrestling, they're all about it. So it's like like here, make some new friends that are into the same thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just awesome, creating that, building that community up more, where it's just like like. You're not alone, like.
And let's not forget that wrestling has worked its way into the main culture of things where you're seeing stars wear wrestling shirts, and we have all those. We have this amazing selection, probably one of the best selections of vintage wrestling shirts there is out there. We have all these things that I'm not
bought it from the shop.
I always like tell people is like some people got some good collections. But sometimes, like, realistically, you know what I mean? Not everybody has that $500, $600, $700, you know what I mean?
Right.
Realistically, for like, sure. So, like, we try to have, like, a good selection of, like, that good, reasonable, like, we got some of those crazy ones.
We got your grails. We got a few
but, you know what I mean? Like, I got, like, an extra $100. Like, I got you. Like... We got options.
We've been stocking our $20 racks, so like having that like not so vintage, let's go 5-6 years back, like that. We got those too. So we have everything from
something for everybody.
Yeah.
And, you don't like
you want to spend $20? Cool. You want to spend $2,000? I got you too.
Yeah.
Is there like a particular piece of like merchandise you guys are like kind of like, wow, I'm glad like this one did like really really well. Like, is there anything that kind of like sticks out?
I mean, for me, the thing that I love selling and buying right now are the replica belts.
Okay.
That's the thing I've really been like, I've always been interested in. And then the more that we get into it, the more I start like starting doing the research and looking in and seeing the different designers for different belts and the different qualities and different leather, thickness of the plates. There's such a whole underculture of that is amazing to me, and we're just like scratching the surface of that. But right now we have like 25 title belts there, and I would say most of them are for sale. The most of them are the replicas, and
we're looking to add another. Me and Chris were talking 60.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
And it's such a fun thing to like you go in there and you see them. That's great. Look at them. I'm like, we always tell people, like, you want to take a picture with one? Like, what's your favorite belt of all time? Like, 10 pounds of gold?
I love to spin that John Cena belt.
John Cena spin $1 million belt? Yeah, like, throw it on your shoulder, take a photo.
Yeah.
Like, there's some people may never get a chance to hold one of those belts in person and, like, actually get a chance to do that. We have a youth spinner and, like, the adult spinner.
Nice.
I had a father-son take a picture with both.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's a moment I'm not gonna forget. Are you
right? And that's what we like to do.
That's cool.
That's what we like to try to do. Is just like give those like the fans and just like the tourists, just like people that like moment. You know what I mean? Like
it's an experience.
You know what I mean? Like we see they come and go. You know what I mean? Like unless it's something like that, like Woody like remember, but like they're gonna remember that for you know what I mean? Like
so,
if we can like imprint that on their mind forever, like. We don't plan on going nowhere, so hopefully as your kid, will bring his kid to SVW in 10, 15 years.
That's
y'all
awesome.
heard it here.
Yeah, y'all heard it on Crew Talk. Damn, that's like, so y'all have like just huge, y'all are cooking up a lot of cool stuff. So like y'all already, I'm actually just, this is the first time I heard this, like y'all already thinking about expanding. That is crazy. And, actually after thinking about it in real time right now, it's not that surprising. What I guess like what other as we over the next year, especially as we head to this is a Philadelphia-based entity right here as WrestleMania 40, the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania comes into Philadelphia. What do y'all have? If y'all are comfortable with mentioning some stuff that hasn't, if not, it's okay. But like, is there anything that like any viewpoints about what y'all want to be, doing heading into that, period next year?
I'd really like what would make me extremely excited and like over the moon, and I think it's very feasible is every time WrestleMania comes around in whatever city, you guys know there's thousands, like not thousands, but you know what I mean. There's like Ring of Honor's running something, New Japan's running something. You know what I mean? All the independents are running stuff.
Yes.
There's WrestleCon.
Yep.
There's just like so much for, like the 2 weeks kind of like leading up.
Yep.
Where it's like yo, if you want to do a pop up, or if somebody wants to do a signing, or like, I don't want to have to hit people up.
Right.
It's like, yo, like if you're coming, like why would you not want to do your signing here, or you know, reach out to us?
Right,
so like that's like
be a no brainer.
That's
right.
like my like, you know what I mean? That would
got
be
it.
like, yo, like oh yeah,
let me just hit
Orange
up.
Cassidy, like, I can get you in. I give you like a 2 to 7 times.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like
Hit us
yo,
up on the
I gotta,
gram.
like,
Call
figure
this
that
number.
out. Right?
Just
you know
hit
what I
us,
mean?
hit us up. Yeah, I got
Or
you.
like people are hitting us up to like
Yeah.
book that, and we got a full schedule of things, and it's like, yo, like we didn't have to reach out to anybody. We just had to, you know what I mean, get the communication going back and forth. But like, so and so hit us up and they wanted to do something here, or you know what I mean, like Bryce Rensburg comes in all the time, one of the referees for AEW, and like he specifically was like asked, he was like, yo, like, are you guys doing signings? I might have like some of the guys might be interested. What? Like I don't have to hit these people up. They're hitting us up for it.
Yeah, exactly.
No brainer all day. So like that week, like if like we're just like booked up and it's like, yo, we didn't do anything but like organize it and set it up because so and so hit us up and this person hit us up, and you know what I mean, like Chalkline wanted to do a pop up, like, you know what I mean, like
There's a lot of things in the works right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
oh yeah.
You know, like there's the pie in the sky kind of dreams that we're hoping for. There's the
Good way of putting it.
more like reasonable, definitely things that are definitely going to happen, and then there's stuff in between, and we're really trying to find something because listen, it's XL.
Yeah.
It's got to be extra large. Everything's got to be XL this year.
It's like
That's
the coolest
thing.
like Roman. I always like hated the Roman MCIIXACI. I'm like, what? I don't even like.
Yeah, it's like
you
the
got to
best
minus
Roman
that
numeral
one
of all
plus
time.
that XL, right? Yeah. Philly XL.
It's Philly. It's my T-shirt size. It's, you know, it's great.
But we're definitely looking at like you know, just like generally speak, like definitely like some festivals, stuff with some music.
Yep.
Definitely do some gonna get some like signings and stuff for people like to interact with some of the wrestlers. Trying to think like generally how we can like without like really.
I'll say
Of course,
we've
of course.
been
We've
Totally
talked
get
to.
we've
Yeah.
obviously been in like you know, Suplex as a company. Suplex
Right.
Vintage Wrestling was also a Suplex sneaker store 10
Right.
years ago. You know, so we've been in the industry of knowing the right people for a long time.
Right.
And sneakers is one of those things that always brought people together. So we do have some good connects, some people that we're hoping to maybe, you know, start using some of those connects.
For sure.
We don't really call in a lot of favors, and we're maybe thinking maybe this
So
is
now
the
it's like,
time.
Maybe it might be the
like,
time.
all right,
That's
now's the
the
time to
concept.
like.
That's how networking works, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly, yeah, of course, for sure.
Like I want to, we don't waste the favors on these little things. Like we're gonna wait for that like
Yeah.
moment.
We have a list of, I don't know, I'd say it's probably like 9 or 10 artists that we think might be able to come through, and
Oh, that's crazy.
you know, but just and
That's
it's just,
we don't know who they are, y'all, but damn, that was just a drop. Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Break
Like,
it.
this
Y'all
is
planning
just
some.
something
Y'all
like-
y'all planning some shit.
and this is all the hopes. This is like, you know, we want to see. We're gonna find out who's really about it, you know, this year.
I love
And
it.
it's
I love
gonna be
it.
Great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What are y'all? You know, it's crazy. I still can't believe WrestleMania is coming to the city, this great city.
It's crazy
awesome.
because
It's just,
you know what's crazy?
It's
When we
crazy.
opened up Suplex Vintage Wrestling, it was before it was announced.
Okay.
So there was no rumors or
Right,
anything.
right.
It was
And don't get me wrong, this was a
the same
long term
rumor.
like dream of like opening the shop and all too.
Right.
But it was literally like 3 weeks after we did like a soft opening because there was like Icons of Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, all right, like we're setting up like maybe after between the convention ending and the matches starting, we'll open up, and like 3 weeks later it was like at Elimination or not Elimination Chamber, Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules, yeah.
And it was like WrestleMania's coming to Philly, and it was just like if there was ever a like stars aligned,
Yeah, I feel that.
the right time
Yup.
situation,
The
like,
universe, the energy,
right,
the
right.
like,
It was
it's
just
like what
Because Philly's been rumored to be the next WrestleMania
for years.
for like 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, because it's been
who the hell could keep up with our weather in April though?
it's the thing.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I would really
Fingers
love it
crossed.
if it was like a light snow for a little bit, like because
Snow?
it's never snowed at WrestleMania. We got rain before, like Tampa Bay, you know what I mean? But like,
oh, did it rain in Tampa Bay?
Yeah, because it was like a delay, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
But if you got
I
like
forgot
a
about that.
little,
oh, it rained in Tampa Bay.
not like really like, you know what I mean, snowstorm, but like some like flurries.
And that's
Like
the problem with
I feel like
those 2
visually,
days. Those 2 days, you have to get good weather for what?
right?
5 hours each day. Like,
Yeah.
that's tough to say in Philly in April.
I'm hoping for the sake. I am such a personally, I'm such like a big like Philly gets overlooked guy. Like Philly has so much to bring to the table. I really hope for the sake of this city that the weather works out. But it is what it is. It's out of our control. I'm sure they're gonna have a big, either the skyline or the Liberty Bell or something like that over the rain to cover everything. That's what they in WrestleMania.
I mean, we don't even
WrestleMania
get
29
snow
they did
no
that.
more, so
At WrestleMania 29, they did that. Actually, it like drizzled a little bit in New York. I'm talking about 2013 in New York, East Rutherford, New Jersey. It rained. It did drizzle a little bit before before the event, or like right before the event started. So it is what it is. They're prepared for stuff like that. I think it'll be all right, as long as it's not like a crazy severe thunderstorm or something like that. You know? But it could. I don't know. But I just love. I'm hoping that I think it's going to be great no matter what. I think it might even be ready to adapt to it. It might make it even cooler, to be honest with you.
Right. You see how Eagles fans are at the that weather don't
Philly
bother.
fans it don't mean
the
anything.
people that come from out of town will complain, but
the people who are you're right.
The people that
like,
matter
we're here.
Throwing a hoodie or something like
right.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna be ready to do. I'm like, all right, all good, let's do it. Like we're here, so it's gonna be crazy. I wonder what like it should be interesting. We were talking about Reigns and Cody, and y'all were mentioning the Intercontinental Championship a little bit ago. We have heard some takes that it should not be Cody Rhodes that defeats Reigns. Mm-hmm. It should be Gunther that defeats Roman Reigns.
He's on the right trajectory. That's
so. What's everyone's opinions about Gunther? I know people wanted Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. I know people wanted, what is it about Gunther that, and Imperium that's really grabbing everyone's attention? Is it his IC title run? Is it his ring prowess? Is it, does he just have it that maybe we see that he's like a guy who's like a good work rate wrestler, but also shows dominance? Like, what is it about
for
Gunther?
me, it's just like that, like, certain people you see and you're like, all right, like maybe he's quick, but he's just believable as he's just whipping somebody's ass in there. You know what I mean? Like, and he hard hitting. It's not like super psychological.
Not forced,
right. It's just like
this guy can whip
goes in
somebody's
there
ass.
and he just wrecks stuff. Like
okay.
Also, I love that he talks about how the respect for the art of wrestling, the respect for the ring. And then he gets in there and he shows that. He doesn't break his character ever. They always wrestles everyone with the same heart and the same respect. He will chop you if you were Drew McIntyre or if you're Xavier Woods. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care about the height, the size. He's knocking you down like a redwood.
Gotcha.
And man, he has put on some of the best matches in the last couple years.
Hey, did you see stuff of him before he really toned up? Like, I was like, yo, he was that business guy. They were Vince was like, yo, you want this? Like, I want this.
Well, I heard an interview with him, and all he did was just stop drinking beer and eating bratwurst every day.
Oh,
okay. Fair enough.
He was like, I work out. He's like, he's always worked out constantly.
Right.
Like, I just started. Finally,
he just cut some stuff.
He's like, I finally just started taking my nutrition seriously.
Okay.
And he lost 100 pounds.
My only gripe with him though is not so much with him. The Imperium thing has always felt very Third Reichy to me, and that's always been you know what I mean, one wrong kind of.
Listen, as someone who is mostly of German blood, I will tell you that I get.
So you're biased.
I get what you're getting at. But that whole Eastern European military, because he's Austrian.
Yeah.
Let's remember he's Austrian. The Eastern European military has always had that same kind of even outside of that, they've had that same like very strict regiment.
Like one wrong hand motion and
Listen, you won't see them doing like they're never gonna pair with Matt Hardy doing the delete by accident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then that's just gonna be too. That was the only thing I hated about Matt Hardy's delete is if you're sitting down and someone's in front of you, so you can't go low and you got to go high. Nope.
Forget about it. Right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, I like to see Gunther though with that title down at some point down the line.
So if it was like Gunther with the as an IC champion going against Roman Reigns for the title
he's got to lose it first.
You think he's got to lose it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how we put it on LA Night, but we put it on LA Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing we can do here.
I don't want to go. Yeah, go ahead.
But
I'm just. How come LA Night wasn't WrestleMania? Sorry, why is
it
LA? No LA Night.
Why isn't he on our screen every single day?
Yeah.
There is no one more over with the night than the crowd with LA Night.
Yeah.
And
but yeah,
we're all. I think they're doing it on purpose though.
Yeah. I was gonna say that.
Making us want it more. So when we get the payoff of LA Night,
because he's lost his last 3 matches, right?
He's gonna win a ladder match. Or what?
Money in the Bank.
That's right.
What? You think that LA Knight is going to win a Money in the Bank?
He's going to have this, like, the last few matches he fought Xavier Woods, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And, you know what I mean? I think he's already over in that way. But I think, like, in the ring, they're going to, like, tease you with it. And it's like, and then when it gets that Money in the Bank, it's just going to click. And it's just going to be, like, pedal to the metal. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's like, you know, we're like cruising in the lane. It's like, and then it's just gonna be like instantly like pedal to metal floor. You know what I mean? Like, cause wait, he's 41.
I can't even tell
Great
anymore.
shape.
I don't think I.
You know what I mean? Like amazing
I can't even tell
shape.
you. He's 41.
Like,
he's 42.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I saw
I can't
somebody
even tell
talking
anymore,
about.
man.
He's in his prime.
I saw somebody talking about like they're not gonna strap it on him because of his age, and I'm just like,
nah.
You can't even tell how old
you
he
can't.
is.
I can't stand it when people say that. You don't, man. My
How old
favorite.
is AJ Styles?
He's like 45. Like I can't. You can't. Look. Oh my gosh. I see that a lot. Like Bret Hart. Guess when Bret Hart won his first championship? People you would never guess.
No.
Guess the age. Guess how old he was.
Say like 32.
He was 35 years old when he won his first championship against Ric Flair. He was 35 years old. And wrestling's different, man. DDP, who's my favorite wrestling, like in terms of just like
He didn't
start wrestling until he was 36.
Out in the ring.
What is that?
Jeff Jarrett's still out in the ring.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean? Putting
DDP's
on decent
first
matches.
DDP's peak of like I used to watch that. Like I loved watching WCW back in the day before it like tumbled. Like DDP, his. By the way, I just want to say, and I'm a Rock guy. DDP was called the People's Champ first. I don't know if people realize that, but he was actually being called the People's.
Because the Rock stole everything.
Okay, all right. But he was called the People's Champ in WCW, and he was over as hell. And when he was rising like that, this wasn't even happening until he was after 40 years old. I just want so who cares what I don't know. Yeah. I mean, look, you don't want to. Look, if the person's like 70 or 60, I get it. But
if they can
30 Ric Flair, stop it.
Yeah. But like another example, Taker in the ring, he didn't reach his prime in the ring until he was like over 40, like 41. I'm talking like 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And that was dead. You know what I mean? Like I feel like now, like
so
people take care of themselves.
Yeah, people take care of themselves differently.
Yeah.
So LA Knight, like he's killing it. I didn't even think about his age until you mentioned it. Honestly. Yeah. So if if they put the belt on him and he was killing it, I have no issue about that. Who cares? You know? At least that's my opinion. At least. Anyone have any other?
No, I mean
he
was having a few with Bray and I mean I don't know.
I didn't want to talk about Bray. Well, I didn't want to talk about that guy.
Wait, whoa.
I'm so disappointed with all that.
Wait. What's up with Bray?
I'm so disappointed with all that going on.
There's no one in wrestling that I love more than Bray Wyatt.
Right.
And there is no one right now that I'm more disappointed with
than Bray Wyatt.
Like, it's like.
So let's talk about it.
Because you had those high expectations for it.
Let's talk about it.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Your favorite kid just breaking your heart, you know?
Yeah.
Like.
So. Go more into that. What's up with Bray Wyatt? Damn.
That's a great question.
Right.
What is up with Bray Wyatt?
Injury, right now.
He has some broken fingers, is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
But like that shouldn't stop you from getting on the mic. You have this.
He's not on the marketing for the draft.
No, he's not going to get drafted. He's not going to get touched in the draft.
What is going on?
So my fear is that he's all the way back in, right? Mm-hmm. And he's starting this thing with Bobby Lashley, which is already he should have been with Brock, but Brock screwed him over. But Brock can do whatever Brock wants, and we've learned that. Like, there's no fighting that. That's like fighting the sunrise. It's going to happen every day.
Yeah.
Like Roman winning.
Yeah, it's just it's the same crap that you got to deal with. But so he's going against Bobby Lashley, which is a good secondary story. It kind of makes sense. He hates the archetype, the Vince man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when Vince came back, because that's right around that same time that Vince started poking his nose again in the business, / ruining things.
Mm-hmm.
I think the second Vince came back, Bray stepped away. Because the whole reason he stepped away was because of Vince.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Vince was like, "Oh, I have an idea for you, Bray," and he was like, "I'm out."
You know that rumor of a wrestler being upset? Was that Bray? There's a rumor of they're saying like someone on the roster is like majorly upset that Vince is even. That Vince is back.
Bray, yeah.
Is that Bray?
I thought it was.
I thought it might have been Drew. I thought it might have been Drew for a second.
I think it is Drew too.
Yeah.
I think it's both of them.
We're just discussing rumors. Nothing's confirmed. Nothing's confirmed. We're just discussing rumors. But like,
well, I think about 80% of the.
But like you said earlier,
Vince is back.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, at Extreme Rules, you know what I mean? Like we didn't get that like Roman Reigns, but like that Bray Wyatt at the end, and like it was so cool. Cooler when I went home and watched it because like when you were there, it was hard to. Like, you couldn't piece it all together, but when you, saw, like, the production and, like, when it all, like, together, and it was just like, oh, give me a chubby. Like, I was just like, oh, this is going on. I was like, yo, like, this is so cool. I know they brought in, like, he had a big part of his own creative. They brought in a horror writer, like, completely outside from wrestling.
For
you know what I mean?
I think, yeah.
It's been as bad as I feel about all this. The worst I feel about it is for Bo Dallas.
You talk about that all the time.
I love Bo Dallas, man.
It's like he got his brother a job back.
Yeah, he finally got a job. He's like, I'm going to be Uncle Howdy. This is going to be great. I'm going to be back on top. And Bray's like, we're done. He's like,
now it's like nothing,
we're done?
yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're done.
And then, like, all the teas, like, the characters, like, was the Wyatt Six his, like, 6 personalities? Was the Wyatt Six the 6 characters? Like, and it was just, like, the whole build-up and, like, the, like, not knowing was, like, so cool. And then it was just...
Also, like, I feel like I had to defend it constantly. Cause
you got her home, and then she left.
Yeah. Every single time someone would say something about it, I'm like, hey, just wait. Like, there's not enough slow builds in wrestling. Like, this is good. This is
trying
good
to justify it.
Yeah.
And then the slow build just fizzled out to no build. And then I'm like, well, now I just look like an idiot for trying to tell everyone, sorry, it had you.
I was right there with him, too. I was right there, like, hey, you don't get long-term.
Agree on.
You don't get that long-term storyline no more. And then it was just like...
You know, I felt
Quiet.
actually that Bray Wyatt has been, outside of what we're talking about right now, I'm like, I felt there's been awful booking decisions with him, in my opinion. I think the fact that he's been able to still be relevant despite some of the booking decisions that have been made with him, it just shows it's a testament to his creativity. One, you know, this is another thing, but I think I want to start a campaign to retire the what chant. When he's at least only do it when Austin's around. I get that,
right.
but
Yeah.
like I'm sick of it. But he adjusted his promo style to get over that. Like he's great on the mic. He'll just keep. He's so creative. I feel like example, WrestleMania 30, I think he should have beat Cena in that legacy match. Cena at that point, he could take losses. He's still John Cena.
Right, he kept losing on all the big matches.
And then he lost he lost against Taker. I'm like Taker had already lost a streak.
Yeah.
Give it to Bray as the new
give passing of the torch. Kind of paranormal.
Then he loses against
Randy Orton.
He loses against Randy Orton. I'm not counting WrestleMania 32 with like The Rock and all that stuff like that and Cena, whatever. That was just like a segment. But he loses Randy Orton after winning the title. So he won the title, cool, but like then that happens, and then
that's the one that didn't make any sense to me. Like that's the one. The Undertaker, I was like, you want to maintain the fact that Brock's the only one. And
yeah. You can see the justification.
But like Randy Orton, what did Randy Orton?
Randy Orton still, he's one of those guys that like Randy Orton, like he can take a win and loss. It doesn't matter. He's still Randy Orton. He's not going to be hurt by it.
Right.
You know, he just was. He got beat one night. Okay, move on. Like it is what it is. And then then the Fiend. I thought the Fiend was awesome when it was coming. Like when he debuted, like we were like everyone just stopped and watched this. 'Cause, like he's so creative. And then they mess up the Hell in a Cell. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Everyone.
Apparently the rumor mill is now that with all the stuff with like Vince being back around, that pretty much the Wyatt 6 Uncle Howdy
is done.
Pretty much done. And
we need to get to the bottom.
They
of
may be bringing
stuff.
back the Fiend character, like
the Fiend character,
because it was like. For Vince,
it was high.
That's what, like,
Okay.
But what does that mean for Bo Dallas?
That's the question.
He's working, selling real estate with Liv Morgan.
What does that mean for Bo Dallas?
He's selling real estate with Liv Morgan.
What about Bo? There should be a shirt. What about Bo?
What about Bo? I'll bring it back.
Well, we got to get to the bottom of this Vince Triple H thing. So it's been revealed. I've been keeping tabs on it. I don't know, like. I'm a little confused. Something needs to be. I don't know if that's purposeful, but so it sounds like I just read that like Seth Rollins actually might have. So at Raw, the night of WrestleMania, Seth Rollins just like came out with his song, and then walked out and stuff like that. Apparently, Freddie Prinze Jr. just wrote that he heard yelling in the back because stuff was being changed and stuff like that, and Vince was in the gorilla position backstage. And that's where people were like mad about that and stuff like that. But then it comes out that no, Triple H has pure 100% of everything. And then it's kind of like, oh, does he though? Like, is Vince? And then Vince comes out and says Triple H controls everything, but at a high level, Vince sees everything. I just want to like, at least in my outside of podcasting and real TWC life, at my other job, right? High level means you see everything. You put final say in everything. That's when I heard that. I was like, oh, that means that you're in charge, dude. Like, the way he said it was, he was trying to say he wasn't, but I'm like, nah, high level means that you see what Triple H does in the weeds, then when it gets to the big moment, you see at a high level, and then you make a decision. That's how I read it. So what's going on?
We thought Triple H was saying goodbye at that SmackDown.
Right?
When he announced the draft that there's going to be such big changes. Yeah. I thought he was coming out like, it's been real. Like,
so
I'm out of here.
What's everyone's take on that? What's going on? Like, is Triple H in control or not?
The Seth Rollins thing was what he was upset about is that they cut to commercial.
Right. Okay.
So he walked out because it's incredibly disrespectful for a wrestler to cut to commercial like before their promo, after their song.
Right.
So like that's not done. So that's
okay.
And that's what it was. Freddie Prinze that came out. And
right.
About that too.
Okay.
Which is just still crazy to me that like Freddie Prinze is one of like the most like connected people.
I know. I know. That's I know.
It's like she's all that Freddie Prinze. All right. But so I think we can all see that Vince had his hands in WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. At least night 2.
And
I really do think
and,
night
and
1 was
Raw after.
And the Raw after.
Mm-hmm.
But the Raw after, it was just because he was there, and I think he was just riding that high. He had just sold the company. He just had WrestleMania, and he was like, "I'm back, baby."
So what does this mean? Does that mean there's just gonna be? Does that mean Triple H is just gonna build up his stuff and then like at a big pay-per-view, say at SummerSlam, like say he builds up everything. Just this is a whole hypothetical. Say he builds everything. He has a story for up to SummerSlam. Is Vince just going to show up and rip up his script and just be like, no, we're doing this?
No, Brock goes over.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what's...
He's not in the match. Brock goes over.
Right? So what's going on?
Now, I think that's the worst-case scenario.
I'm terrified.
I truly do believe that Triple H is back in charge of creative.
Okay.
I think he's making all of the decisions. But I do think that is a very real possibility. The only hope I have at this point is that we get yet another scandal that gets him fired. Because if he can get Vince out now,
he can be voted out. He can be fired now.
He no
like,
longer
truly.
has the percentage to just hire himself again.
Right.
He did last time.
Right.
So and he is 77 years old. He has retired once this year already. Like,
enjoy your billions, man. You made you're an icon.
That's what I was saying.
Mega boom periods. You have You have all the memorable stars to
thank you, Vince. You
like
did
thank
this.
you, man.
You
like
built this.
You built this.
We
dude.
wouldn't have it
We're
without
good.
you. But like,
It's
right
time.
off into the sunset.
It's time. It's time to go. It's been
he
time.
might just be doing this to make people appear that he's still, because I think the value of the company is more secure if he's a figurehead.
Fair enough.
Weren't you saying something about like part of the contract is like talking like for like 2 years or something like that? Like, was it you that was telling me? Apparently, like, part of with Endeavor and all is like he's only in the position he's in
for 2 years.
For like 2 years, and then it's
he's out.
That makes even more sense then too. To establish that the fact that it's like if they change too much about it, people might get scared. You show that in any company that's publicly traded,
like for that transition period.
Yeah, the second someone steps down, you watch their value dip. So you have we transition, but we still have him in charge. You're like,
right.
Cool, then things will keep running smoothly. Like people are afraid that like Endeavor's going to cut $50 million from people, and you're like, that's not talent. That's not like if you're Endeavor and you have Endeavor and UFC.
You have all these camera, media, all that part.
You need 3 different HR departments.
Yeah,
right.
You could probably cut 75% of the HR department. You could probably cut the marketing, the advertising, because you're under an umbrella.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have to worry about the sell affecting anything there, and I don't think we have to worry about.
I mean, I think there are going to be some cuts.
I don't think. I think they're going to for at least a while.
Yeah.
I don't think there's cuts much. Might be people leaving. Asuka or Drew McIntyre.
No.
I'm happy to see Bayley still on the screen because I thought she was leaving, but
man,
I feel like
Drew
it's a weird
McIntyre
period,
screwed,
right?
Man.
I feel like it's a very weird period. So like, because everything's like shaky and nobody really knows. You know what I mean? Like we're all like speculating or like rumor mills and trying to like stay in the loop of everything. That like with the Bayley stuff, it was just like the end of Damage Control. So anything that like, oh man, it's been real, guys. We're all like, oh my God, this is it. She's leaving. She's over it. We automatically like are assuming and jumping straight to that point. Like if they say something like kind of indirect and like cryptic.
But that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was that, and then someone talked her into staying.
So wait,
was it?
Bayley was about to leave
because I heard it was
talked into.
It was about the splitting of Damage Control.
But
like
Damage Control is still a thing.
But they're splitting. They're going to be splitting up.
Yeah, but you don't say goodbye and then split up a month.
Well,
later.
they lost the belts. It was like, you know what I mean, like good. You know what I mean? Like that's what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm like, to my point. It was just like, we're just going by. Yeah, well, I read this. I heard that.
It's all about
like,
the contracts being up.
Right.
And I think it's 100%. It was people's way of showing the company if Vince stays in charge.
Right.
This is my opportunity to walk. Because I think you're going to see a lot of the female wrestlers, especially, that won't want to work for that guy for obvious reasons.
Of course.
And a lot of people who couldn't get over while he was in charge aren't going to want to work for him, like Drew.
Think of all the people that got brought back in. Karrion Kross, he was like put on like BDSM gear with Vince. Like what they completely ruined. He completely like gutted everything that was like making him over. Completely gutted him. And I'm like,
and it's going to be hard for him to recover. I still don't know about this current thing that he's doing.
Still, but Vince neutered him completely. That's what I'm worried. Like I'm just saying I don't know, man. Like I don't know.
I'd love for Drew to come back and get a run because I think what he did for the company during the
Thank you. That's I think he got shafted, man.
I think
it's not really his...
it during the Thunderdome period.
Yeah,
there were 3 people I feel that carried that company. It was like Drew, and then it was like Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah.
That Bayley and Sasha, the back and forth between them was like the most compelling thing on the screen.
Yeah.
Sasha already shown what she felt.
Yeah.
Right.
And Monet out there killing it now. And Bayley, I'm hoping gets a little bit of the respect she deserves, but I like that she's putting over the younger talent right now. This is a good thing. She's
right.
up there. But yeah, Drew needs his roses.
He needs, man.
He deserves a run in front of the crowd.
Yeah, Drew. The crowd was behind. Drew had it.
Everybody was
behind Drew.
Was it Clash at the Castle? Like everybody was like,
ready.
"Oh, is this it for Drew? Like, is Drew gonna take Roman thing? You know what I mean? Cardiff, Wales, like." All that stuff, and no.
And then this didn't do him any favors. But then after losing, he like starts to like sing with Sheamus. I think I'm not sure if that was like supposed to be aired or not. But like I was like, damn, this looks weak, man. You just lost I don't know. I would not mind seeing Drew McIntyre get another run. That's just my opinion. I think he kind of got shafted, but it is what it is.
There's at all things known. There's no way someone can convince me that him losing at Cash at Clash was a good good idea.
Right.
Because he could have won.
Right.
And then lost the belt back to Roman,
That's what I thought was going to happen.
later.
Yeah. It's not abnormal. Like, yeah.
You could have ended all this silliness of Roman and stuff like that. But no, what they saw, once again, was that Roman's this is more important than anything else going on in the company.
Right.
You're going to lose talent because of you having to put Roman over constantly. It's still like, I don't understand what Roman has on them. Like, what pitches he has.
Let me ask this. So, do you think they're going to lose talent? Because at the end of the day, WWE is still WWE.
Are they going to lose talent? What do you mean? Like, you think? Well,
like,
here's the thing. If Vince,
are they going to leave because, Roman had the belt for so long? Like,
they could.
They don't complain, but I feel like.
But are they getting paid?
Even like Kenny Omega and it's still like, yes, you are great, you are amazing, but it's like till you we talk about till you have your WrestleMania moment.
I know. It's still WWE.
And it's
still
just,
WWE.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like,
it's so hard.
Do you want to be the top in the B, or are you cool being somewhere in the middle on the A? And
when's Omega's contract run out? Is it 2024? Earlier this year.
This year, I believe.
Yeah.
And MJF
is 2024.
But they've already, I believe they already have a new contract under agreement for AEW.
For
Omega.
Is there a chance? Is there truly a chance that MJF could end up in WWE in 2024?
Not if Roman is still champ. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if Vince is in charge. I think
if Triple H is really in charge, he's going to try to get MJF.
I think they were losing.
I think MJF. It's the money.
I think they were losing people because of Vince, and they're going to lose people because of Roman.
Okay.
They just want to double the. You know what I mean? Oh, what Tony's offering you $2 million? Here go 3.5. I think MJF is going to chase that money.
You think? So you
and
think
it's
no matter
still,
what,
and again, it's WWE.
You think MJF's going to get the bag no matter what? You think he just wants the bag?
Yeah,
I got you.
I don't think that's just part of his character. I think he's
he legit wants the bag. Yeah,
I don't know if that's true anymore though. With Endeavor being the parent company, I don't know if they can just throw bags of money at people anymore. I think Tony Khan might actually have a leg up when it comes to being able to just randomly
because it's his thing. Yeah.
Because he's got, he's
but
got
that's one of those things we don't know what's in the contract.
That's true.
So,
that's fair.
They might have a balance sheet they have to uphold to.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
An unannounced salary cap of some sort.
That's a fair point. I think that we'll see. How have y'all been liking AEW lately? I have to watch more of it myself. I've kind of fallen off a little bit, but I
enjoy
AEW.
I absolutely love it. Yeah, I think what they got going on with Jericho and Adam Cole is amazing.
Baby.
Yeah, because it's just because you're talking about talent that WWE, lost.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Adam Cole was one of the biggest losses.
That was ridiculous, man. I was like, I cannot believe. I was so mad at Vince. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Excuse my language.
The two people that killed me that they lost was him and Keith Lee. I think those guys.
Keith Lee too.
Those guys could have been so over.
Oh my gosh. If Triple H was in charge, they would not have left. I'm convinced that Adam Cole would not have left.
Triple H loves Adam Cole because he's just Shawn Michaels Jr.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was all about the Undisputed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Undisputed Era is that was such a cool time in NXT.
But I mean, Adam Cole gets a lot of shit though. People be getting just because of his build. It's just one of those guys. It's just bro, you know what I mean? Like I was saying about Gunther, yo, he's a believable champ. You know what I mean? He's a
right.
And then it's Adam Cole. It's
can you imagine him in the ring?
You could probably throw him out the bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could bounce him.
y'all excited about Punk coming back? Apparently.
Me?
Yeah.
No,
Let's hear.
no.
Okay. All right. Woody's not with it.
I was happy when Punk was gone. I didn't want him to leave that way. I didn't think that, but I thought that was very fitting for him to leave that way because it just showed that sometimes a bad personality can kind of take you out of the game.
Right.
If he keeps talking shit, sooner or later it's going to catch up to you.
Do you think Punk thinks he's bigger than he is? Than he actually is? What do you think?
It's for a guy who's straight edge. It seems like he's always about 2 or 3 beers deep.
Okay.
With the way that he sees himself in the mirror is a little bit taller than a little bit wider, a little bit stronger. I love the best in the world gimmick is great in ring, but that shit's got to stop when you go outside the ring and you're like talking person to person with your peers.
Right.
Like, I truly think he tells people to their face, like Kenny Omega, that he's the best in the world. And you're like, yeah.
My whole issue, like my whole thing was just like, it wasn't one person saying that he was a shitty person. It wasn't 2 people saying that he was like shitty backstage and in the locker room. It wasn't 3. You know what I mean? Like it was just like and then like with the scrum interview and all, like the way all that stuff happened, it was just like
brawl out.
Like it's like we're a family. We have disagreements. We can physically fight. I literally physically fought cousins, and you know what I mean. But it was like. It stayed in house.
Right.
So like to put all like the business out there, like you know what I mean, and talk all this shit like outside of your, you know what I mean. It's like say whatever you want to say to them backstage, but it's like like in front of other people, no, y'all cool.
And the disrespect to Tony Khan.
Yeah. Just airing people.
Yeah, and it was just like like keep
toxic,
that shit like
toxic.
in the house.
It's not. Yeah. I feel you. It's not a good.
Everything he said had merit, too.
Right.
There's nothing about that. Like he talked about being around like. Kids who were consider themselves EVP
couldn't manage their way out of a target.
Yeah, like they didn't. That all has merit, but why the hell are you saying it live? Like, and this is a story. This is a work, but like we all know it's not a work. We found out it wasn't a work.
Right.
Now they try to turn it back into a work. Good on them.
Right.
That's gonna be great. And if the second that he steps in the ring against the Elite, like him and FTR against the Elite, it's gonna be amazing to watch. Yeah. But I don't need it.
Okay.
I could do without it.
Yeah.
The whole new Saturday show with their AEW Collision.
How do you guys feel about that Saturday, like that time slot?
I will say.
Saturday nights.
Look, I will say this. I've been to I think 3 or 4 AEW shows, and the first couple I've been to were actually some of the best shows I've ever been to. They were really, really good. The first one was
happy.
They make Cody Rhodes. This is why it blew my mind that he would even come back. I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, no, why would you come back? Why?
But still WWE.
I know. There we go. But the first show they had they had at the Lear Chorus Center in 2019.
I was there too.
It was incredible. They went out of their way to make sure that everybody enjoyed that show. Cody Rhodes thanked people at the end of the night. If I'm not mistaken, it's a long time ago now.
Yeah.
But I think that's what he did. I was like, wow, this is incredible. This is really good.
It was a 10-minute segment after it was over.
Yeah.
Of him just like
thanking everybody, talking to the crowd,
bringing out Philadelphia legends. And stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It was cool.
It was a
great experience.
I walked out of there with a huge smile on my face. The third show I went to, he was at the front door greeting people.
What?
That's cool.
He was
crazy.
out about.
See, that's what I mean, man.
Me and my wife walk in, and she's like, "Isn't that Cody Rhodes?" And I'm like, "Oh, so I'm expecting someone like dressed
like a lookalike.
Just Cody Rhodes."
No, it's Cody Rhodes.
Walked up to him, got a photo with him, like.
That's awesome.
Right.
Before I even got to my seat. Because he wasn't wrestling that night.
Yeah.
So he wanted to make sure that, like, I'm not wrestling, but I'm still here for you guys.
Hearing that, nah, man. I want Cody.
Like,
Damn
I
it.
want more AEW.
Cody, you gotta win, man.
Yeah. Cody at SummerSlam.
Woody is really good at getting people over here on this Cody train, man. But, like, at the end of the day, you know.
I don't even mean to do it,
man.
Yeah, I just think, like, the Saturday, like, I don't know, like,
okay,
that's,
so
like,
what time is it? What's
it's
the time?
Like 8, right?
Yeah.
8 o'clock on Saturday. So I remember.
So now you're going up against pay-per-view, like WWE pay-per-views, which sneakily moved to Saturdays.
That's not. I love that it's on Saturdays now, actually, because like, I just like okay, can
there
don't
like
work
a
the
lot
next
of
day? I don't know.
I'm not like a sports person.
For sure, man. Go ahead.
College football.
College football.
Saturdays.
Yeah.
I always have a thing of I go. Like that's usually like a really good baseball game will be on a Saturday night. I thought like an ESPN special.
Right.
It's gonna be a tough one. It's
because they already get kicked on like Rampage.
So wait, are they keeping
playoffs?
Are they keeping Fridays?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're really okay. Good for them.
And I'm talking about Ring of Honor Thursdays.
Okay.
And then you got Dynamite Wednesday.
I would watch Ring of Honor. I don't watch Impact.
There's Dark.
But I would watch Ring of Honor on Thursdays.
They have almost something every single day of the week.
Good for them. Good for them. I love it.
It's an interesting market.
Bring it.
I think it's. I heard someone say that there's a chance they should just have like older talent. just to appeal to like the older crowd who doesn't go out Saturday nights.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, okay, listen, I'm almost 40.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to like go out and party on a Saturday night. I'm gonna stay home and I'll put on. Let me watch Sting versus Jeff Jarrett.
Right.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Yeah.
That's actually not a bad
kind of
bad
like
angle.
like
Yeah.
TNA,
different, yeah.
like TNA Impact era. You know what I mean? Like, give me some of that. Like, give me like a.
You know, Woody, that's a great point because I remember, it's crazy when SmackDown moved from Thursdays to Fridays. I'm going to be very honest with you. When that was happening, I was in college and I was like I was a teenager, like early. When did they move to Friday? I forget. But when that happened, I was still like, just alluding to what you were saying, like I'll be honest, when they moved to Friday at some point, my viewership dipped because I was like, I watched wrestling when a lot,
Right.
but like Friday nights when I was like 19, 20, 21, nah.
No
I'm trying to go out with friends and try to see chick, whatever. Just that mode.
Unless they had it on at the bar.
Exactly, so I just had to catch up online or something like that and just like watch highlights and
Right, because it wasn't even like DVR like it is now.
Right,
I do that every once in a while.
Right,
I'm like,
so,
I'm gonna go out. So I would just, when I get home or in the morning, I'll just skim through. I ain't gotta watch commercials.
Right. So
we didn't have that back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting. It would be cool if they had like kind of like, because you're right, like
maybe like the second hour of it.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind that. Is Sting gonna actually? Is he done? Is he done after this year? I read that.
He keeps talking about it.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna.
I'm happy that he's had this AEW run because WWE, like, it is what it is. Three matches, and I'm like, damn. Even Scott Hall
from Rollins.
That and like even Scott Hall, rest in peace. He was saying like, man, like how you gonna like get knocked in the head by a sledgehammer and shake the man's hand after the end of the match? And I was like, damn, man, it's true. I was just like, why did that like made him look like such a punk?
I will
that,
say,
like,
I think AEW,
he got his Mania moment, whatever.
AEW treats older aging talent better than WWE ever has.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're doing things. I think they're
maybe except Flair. I'm trying to think. Maybe except Flair. That's about it.
Flair is
just Flair. His own. Yeah, I got you. He's like his own. He's like his own entity.
We were watching Flair. What were we watching the other day with that ladder match where like Flair's taking ladder bumps at like 60 something? You're like,
it's over. It's over. Just stop.
No one wants to see this.
Next month we'll see like some posters like Flair's last match.
Part 2.
Right.
I hear you.
I was like, after the Shawn Michaels, it should have been it.
Yeah.
In my mind, it was.
That moment that, like,
great
I'm
send-off.
sorry.
Great
You
send-off.
know what I mean? I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that should have been.
I know.
But I think they're trying to put out a blueprint of what WB can do with aging talent. And you can still put them in tag teams. You can have them be like, I want to see them get Goldberg. I want to see.
That would be interesting.
He
Goldberg
wants
versus Wardlow.
Goldberg wants a actual like good send off. He was like, I feel like my character, like the character, like it's not like the chapter isn't closed. So I think he was like talking about funding his own like 3 or 4 city like tour.
Really?
And, like paying. Yeah, he was like, nah, like he
Did
was like.
Did you see the MJF tweet?
If I gotta
He
send my.
tweeted and deleted.
Wait, what'd he say? Oh, boy.
I heard about it. I didn't hear.
No one wants
it.
to see Oldberg. What'd he say? Like someone else?
It was somehow worse. It was
worse.
It was somewhere around the lines of like, I'll beat the shit out of that roided up Jew.
Oh.
Oh man.
That thing was up and back down real fast. But
I love MJF is always in character. I love it.
Always.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So yeah. Before we wrap up, great conversation, y'all. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for supporting us and we're excited to see where SVW
do it
is
more
up
often.
to. Yeah, for sure. What's coming up? Anything else coming up on your end? I know there's a watch party for Backlash. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Cool.
We'll be doing that. We'll get all the promotion. So the only reason we didn't throw the promotion stuff out there is because we were like trying to finagle like to go.
Go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we were trying to situate that, but like
Yeah.
we kind of like dropped the ball and waiting on trying to get the hotel room because like friend of like the big boss is like he was like it's Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico. He was like everything's booked.
You have to like know someone's house you can stay at.
Oh,
Right,
It's like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no room to rent in Puerto Rico. Right
Wow, it's like
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So then it was like, all right. So watch party it is.
Okay. Cool.
We'll be there doing that.
Awesome.
We got anything else coming up?
I know. I mean, we had our RVD day for 420.
Yeah.
We had Stone Cold 316 day. I'm trying to think of what other like wrestler we can attach to a day.
Y'all thinking about like creating it and just a holiday just to do it for a wrestler?
And stuff, but I was like, I think I was thinking of someone that, like in bad taste we could do, but I don't know if we want to do that.
Rey
Like,
Mysterio for Cinco de Mayo, you know.
yeah. Or do you want to have like a Chris Benoit for domestic abuse month?
Oh.
But like you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Right, right.
These were the bad ideas.
Right. Just ideas.
Right.
just
Definitely, we're
ideas.
gonna be doing something for Pride.
Yeah.
Cool,
That's
cool,
something
cool.
we've been like
We're
throwing.
going big
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Pride.
Nice. That's awesome. Anything
Yeah.
anything you want to go further with the Pride plans or anything, or just stay tuned?
We're definitely gonna have a limited edition shirt
Cool.
coming out for that. That's the design's already in the.
Nice.
The whole full like shirt, sticker. You
Nice.
gotta be in the whole like package for like that.
Awesome.
Nice.
I think we're gonna be doing something with what's the show today?
No Love Lost.
No Love Lost. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We've been back and forth in kind of conversations with them.
Awesome.
And for doing something for Pride, and then
Labor of Love.
Yeah.
Labor of Love. Okay, cool.
'Cause
Awesome.
They have a show, live wrestling show happening today that we're probably heading to directly after this.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh wow. Thank y'all. Damn. So thank y'all so much for even taking time out of your day when already busy to
I had
come
to,
on.
I
That's
told
awesome.
Woody, I was like, I had to finagle it with my girl. I got to take her to park for dinner. She's like,
Park's a good spot.
Unlike Woody's situation, like, married at WrestleMania. My girl has nothing.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah, I hit the jackpot on that.
Yeah.
I have a wife and a son who both
I'd
love
be so
wrestling.
jealous
That's
about that.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, me and my wife were married at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is our anniversary.
Insane.
You know,
My girl's like, why are
we found out we were having
sweaty men wrestling around in their underwear?
we found out we were having a kid on the day of Royal Rumble in Philly.
Wow.
So like our whole life's been revolved around this.
So that's amazing.
It's like,
That's amazing.
when I tell her it's a wrestling thing, she's like, "Oh yeah, please, can I come too?" You know, like that's the only thing after me. I have 2 add-ons on everything I do, but timing works out really well because I think we got like another hour and a half before the Labor of Love show starts.
Okay.
So we kind of go from one to the other. But yeah, we definitely want to work with them
Awesome.
for Pride Month.
Awesome.
And after that, besides that, just basically count us in for a watch party for every paper.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Okay.
just
Cool.
follow everything on Instagram,
Mhm.
Suplex SPW, or suplexspw.com is the website.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my bad. Oh, back. Yeah. That's the best way to, like, keep up with it, because, like, we work with different people, so
Mm-hmm.
somebody might hit us up, like, yo, I want to do a signing, and you know what I mean? Like, we'll, like, partner up in the shop. We reached out to a few people. So there's, like, a few things in the work that we're just, you know what I mean? Like, ironing out the details, setting up the date,
For sure.
kind of stuff like that.
In the meantime, we keep posting a new shirt every day that, and you got to get to it fast because Uncle Laser's buying every single one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right.
We got
Shout out Uncle Laser. Man.
every single shirt we post, he's just like, "Oh, I'll take that one." You know? So now you guys got competition.
Yeah, y'all have like truly a lot of gyms in that shop, and y'all are doing like a lot of great things. So happy to have y'all on. Awesome that y'all are doing more and more activities. Doing more celebrations, more watch parties, more more wrestling, more all things wrestling, creating an oasis for wrestling fans all around the planet.
Yeah.
People visiting it doesn't even matter if it's an indie show or a major promotion, doesn't matter. Having actual wrestlers, referees, whatever, just visiting, SVW. And thank you all so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
definitely got to do it again, man. Like,
Yeah, of course. We'll definitely do it up.
Everybody make sure you like, follow, share everything, suplex.svw, suplexsvw.com.
For sure, definitely. Everything. Just add on to what Hector said. Yeah, definitely feel free to message theyese guys. They're really open. They'll talk. You're a wrestling fan. They'll talk. Let them see.
Yeah, you'll get one. Just a matter of like who you'll get talking to. You can
Right.
usually tell by, you know what I mean. Just like Cody or Roman.
Yeah, just say Roman's name, and depending on the sound you get after that, you know if it's either me or Heck.
Oh, one more thing before we sign off. Any idea about the with the recent bomb drop news of the breaking news of the expansion? do you think that will happen before WrestleMania 40, possibly, or you think it's going to be after WrestleMania 40? Something within the next couple of years, or you're just seeing the. You know.
I think if that one in particular happens, will be before WrestleMania 40.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, look for us to be expanding no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah, there's there's nowhere this is going but up.
Okay.
Sharks swim forward.
Right.
I love it. Damn. That's a boom. That's a mic drop.
Nah, definitely. Realistically, just stay tuned. Very much sooner than later. Be very surprised with the things we got in store, the ideas we've been throwing around.
Oh hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
so much more room. You know what I mean? Just to really make it feel like special when you come in there. You know what I mean? Like more than it already does.
I already told other friends of mine and me and Reese, man. I just you gotta trust me. I think even talking about this, I'm talking about it, but you won't understand unless you actually go there.
You have to go there, yeah.
Yeah, I was just it is, it is what it is. So I'll tell y'all we'll be there. We'll be there on the 6th.
Come hang out, play some video games.
Yeah, we'll be hanging
you know
out.
what I mean? Debate some wrestling.
Oh, that will be happening.
And later down the line, you might be able to play some pool on you know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So with that said, this I'm gonna close with this damn theme's just fit in my head. We talked about him earlier. We talked about Gunther. His theme is I think his theme is badass. So I'm just gonna we'll sign off with this right here.
Uh-oh.
Thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Telling you, one hand movement away.